If I at some point, if it's socially acceptable, would shotgunning a beer be a good at any point of the show, like be
Oh,
Who are
frowned
you,
upon?
chill?
you are 100% allowed to shotgun beers
God, we're
during
doing
this.
every bit, aren't we tonight? I've got the
We
fucking.
are,
I've already talked about my autism. Where you been?
yeah.
I mean, that was just gonna happen regardless. That happens everywhere.
All the time.
Uh,
And
And somehow it works every time.
to start every episode, I do usually crack open a fresh can. I know you guys are already sipping on some stuff, but does anyone have an unopened can that they want to participate in the open and crack with?
Boy, do I!
absolutely.
Oh,
We
man.
got this bullshit. You seeing
Yes,
that?
sir.
Jesus Christ.
He
Yes,
drinks one, he
sir.
drinks it, he turns into
Oh
one.
man,
He's
it's like Kid
going
Rock. It's
crazy
like Kid Rock
tonight.
developed the Four Loco.
No,
God, I wish there was
no.
caffeine in that. That'd be sick. But yeah, I
Shit
am I
looks the
am
way that
ready.
shit looks the way that Monster by Skillet sounds.
All
Shit
right.
gonna turn me into Bam Margera.
All right. So what I'll do is I'll count us down. We'll crack these, do the little intro, bring three of you in. We'll just have a good time.
All
Oh
right.
yeah.
Hell yeah! All right, in three, two, one. Welcome to the Beers with Bands podcast with your host Michael Torres. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Beers with Bands. Very stoked to be sitting down with No Business tonight. How y'all doing?
Doing
Good. How you
good.
doing?
Doing good, doing good.
The weekend.
Dude, yeah, it's Friday. I have some beers in front of me. Get to talk to a band. 10 out of 10. Perfect way to start the weekend.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's fucking go.
For people that might not be aware of No Business, you guys are like a metalcore, a little bit of alt rock band based out of Orlando, Florida. I like I like how you guys' tagline on kind of everything is like some kind of rock band.
Yeah.
Because I feel like depending on what version of the releases you listen to kind of determines like what you feel like the band is, because there's, like I said, some metalcore, some alt rock, some hardcore, a little bit of everything in there, and it all sounds great at the end of the day though.
I appreciate that. I love music. That's the thing. Is it's just like I don't and like I've talked about this a couple times, but just like I don't think when I write, I just kind of write and then just whatever happens happens, and if somehow it can be tied into the other songs, like cool, it makes it.
Right.
If it's bad, it doesn't make it, and then like if there's no way I can tie it back, I just push it down the road to see if we can use it later. But
I mean that's honestly like some of the shit that I love about a lot of bands nowadays are just like they're not like conforming to a specific genre. They're all like,
yeah,
we did this song and it might be Midwest emo, and then the next song could be just like a complete like riffy pop punk style song, or they could go into some hardcore, just like whatever they feel like, and if it ends up being cohesive on a full EP, like even better, just to kind of feel those vibes throughout the whole thing.
yeah, it's so nice when bands can do that, and like when it works really well, because like when it works really well and it flows super well throughout the album, it's like it's almost like you're kind of listening to like a movie soundtrack rather than just like an album, or like you're listening to something that's like telling a story through genre or whatever.
Mhm.
Like whenever it's done well, it's super awesome. When it's not done well, though, it's just like what are these guys doing?
Yeah,
And I
it's
hope
like why
that's
do they
not,
just? It's like why do they just take like five singles and put them together?
yeah.
Like it just doesn't hit right.
Yeah, I hope that nobody feels that way about it. I'm sure somebody out there does, but I hope nobody feels that way about us yet.
I
We're not
see. I
nearly we're not
personally,
nearly big enough for people to hate us yet. Don't do it.
hey man, listen. Follow your dreams and find some haters. Uh, I, I'm one of those people who like. So I grew up listening to Coheed and Cambria a lot, right? And like, so I prefer music that tells a story, because like if you listen to a whole album and it's just like a collection of songs, that's cool. But in my opinion, like writing, it sounds, in my humble opinion, a lot of it sounds a lot more freeing, a lot more just like beautiful when it is all focused around a central theme, and that one central theme is like point A to point B. And that's what I really, really love about like storytelling in music. So when like Paul showed me the album for the first time, Snitch, which like I listened to well before it came out, because he asked me to be in the band by showing me the music, and I remember I was like, oh, this is all good. Like it's all so cohesive, and it's very much like a journey from beginning to end. And I'm a big fan of that. And I like bands a lot more when they do that. So being a part of that's really cool.
Yeah, I got flack for putting Slow Dance and Cinderblock in the middle of the album from a couple of my friends that I showed it. They were like, "Why the fuck did you do that?" And I was like, "Just trust me. Within the story, it makes sense. They have to be there." And everybody was like, "Okay, but I would have not done that if I was you."
People
Yeah,
love those tracks. So
jump in on that too. For me, I'm more of a growing up and just kind of what I listen to now. I'm more of like I just like the vibe I get from music, certain type of music. Like if it's heavy, sludgy, and it just makes you feel, like you want to like throw yourself through like a piece of drywall and then like tackle someone, like I'm here for it. But it was interesting because like when I first I joined the band a bit after everyone was the most recent addition to the band coming in last August. And when Paul initially told me that like there was a story within Snitch, because I've listened to the album before, and I've seen the boys play live, I was like in my head, I didn't say anything in time. I was like, oh, like I didn't know there was like a whole story to this. And I went back and listened, and I was like, it clicked in me. And like now in recording and working with them and all that, it's been really cool to kind of like see that other side of it of, seeing a story kind of get brought forth through music and I'm more kind of in a more unique way than when I'm used to hearing storytelling. So it's been awesome to see that development.
oh, we cultured him
Let's
like cheese.
go. I just listened to too many concept albums growing up. That's my problem. It's like I look
There's no
back
such
at
thing
like
as too
all
many
my
concept albums.
that's fair. I like look back at my favorite and most formative albums and I'm just like, oh look, there's Pink Floyd's The Wall. There's American Idiot. There's I guess 21st Century Breakdown was important for me. Not as much anymore, but like, they were like, let's do American Idiot again. And then it wasn't like people didn't love it as much, but by God, you couldn't go anywhere without hearing 21 Guns fucking every 10 seconds.
God, I remember that. That was I think they played 21 Guns at like my like Sadie Hawkins dance.
Oh,
I don't doubt that at all. That was 100% played at like one of my middle school dances.
yeah, it was like
They're
an
like,
every
this is a
dance,
slow.
every sports game, like any chance they got, they would play that song.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, fucking every baseball commercial had Know Your Enemy. Green Day was on a roll there for a bit.
I'm also gonna date myself a little bit here. It wasn't my Sadie Hawkins dance. It came out in 2009. It would have been my senior prom.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Hayden is the oldest member of the band. But we're all still kind of in that age of like late 20s, early 30s, like we sound like what we play.
Yeah.
And it shows on the Spotify metrics. I look at the metrics and it's just like the biggest bar of like age range is like the exact ages that we are. And I'm just like, all right, cool. We're speaking to the people who we are. We're not quite getting the Zoomer audience. I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but
I do wonder if we could tell which age group is listening to which songs, because all the 34-year-olds are listening to the same songs that I love the most. It's like
could be.
It could be.
Yeah.
I know we jumped into stuff right away, and I normally introduce my guests right at the beginning, and I apologize. I didn't do that right away. Can you kind of go around the room and say who you are and what you do in No Business?
Yeah, you got to stop us from yapping. If you got to cut us off, do it.
I know.
Like
I probably won't stop you later. We'll get this out of the way, and then like I already know this is gonna be a good time of just yapping. So I just want to get your names out there, what you do in No Business, and then we'll keep rolling.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'll start. I'm Paul. I'm the singer, and I also do all the writing. And yeah, that's what I do.
I'll go next then. My name is Nick. I play guitar and I do backing vocals for the band, and I also make most of the shit posts for the band's socials.
I'm Hayden. I play bass and I'm the hot one.
And then I know we are missing a couple of members. Who are they and what do they do as well?
All right, so we got Big Josh, the legend. He's the drummer. He's also in another band called Heavy Hitter. They're a little bigger than us. So we don't
Just a little bit.
we only get Josh on weekends and holidays, you know.
Get him every other weekend.
He
And
prefers
then,
living with his mom.
Yeah, you know, what can you do? And then we've got Alex, who's our other guitarist, and also our like producer, mixer, master engineer, whatever you want to call it. He's the one that like whenever we go to like write, it's most of the time just him and I sitting in a room together, hashing out ideas, and then we'll bring in the other boys like one by one to check everything out and see if there's anything they'd change. They obviously, when it gets to recording, like Josh and Hayden very much like get to write their own parts. And I mean, Nick would if he was in the band before the EP was done being recorded.
I got to record my my vocal track, and then I got to do backing vocals and strings. So I got to do something.
You got to be part of the men's choir.
Listen, the men's choir rules.
I'm so happy we did that because that's something I've wanted to throw in a song for like so long. I'm just mad that we played a show last week. I'm kind of mad that nobody like dogpiled to like sing it with us, but
Sorry.
that the crowd was definitely not the most active crowd. You had like Nail Wound, who's fucking heavy as shit, and there was like out of this like pretty like packed out room, I would say you had 4 people moshing, 3 of which were in the bands that were playing that night, and I'm just like, what? It was weird, but like again, it wasn't like a bad no moshing, you know, like you can tell when it's a bad no moshing. Everybody's like standing like 50 feet away from the stage, arms crossed. Nah, like everybody like packed it in at the front, was like bobbing heads along and stuff. Just like there were not any moshers in the building.
Do you know what it reminded me of?
What?
Obviously, none of the bands there fit this, but it reminded me of every prog show I've ever been to. People were genuinely like paying attention to the music. People were like watching. There were a lot of musicians in the house. There were a lot of like people in peripheral bands who were finally catching their homies playing a show. And like
Actually,
I saw people who. What's up?
I was gonna say that makes a ton of sense with both Lost Trees and Chidori as like the 2 bands at the end, like because those are both like much proggier bands than say like us.
Yeah, and it reminded me very much of a prog show. I actually have never felt like an audience watched me play more closely than I did the other night.
Hope they didn't watch me closely. Fucking.
You know, but you guys have been around, you know, to give a little bit of backstory now that we have to jump into it. You guys have kind of been No Business has been around since about 2017. The first EP or demos, if you want to call it, No EP is up on Bandcamp for anyone looking for it. Not on Spotify. It's not there, but it is on Bandcamp.
You found it.
No.
You know, it's real easy when you have it in your link tree, you know. That's crazy.
It's I don't care if people find it. I just like, you know, I don't care to like keep it up there.
But I like that it was like I like that one other track that's up there on your demos, which is, you know, we'll talk about here in a little bit. I like that it was still out there so I could at least hear like the difference between that song and what's coming up on this new EP. I know we were already talking about Snitch, which was the LP that came out in 2023, which phenomenal. But the latest release is Snitch Deleted Scenes, which I know how we were talking about, like, you know, there's a story to Snitch in itself, and I love, even before I heard that there was a story within Snitch, obviously I need to give it more listens to fully get the story, but I loved that you called this EP, like, Deleted Scenes rather than just B-sides.
Yeah.
Just because it's a cool way to spin it, because no one calls them Deleted Scenes, they're always B-sides, but, like, it makes it more prevalent now that I know that there's a story in Snitch of like, okay, these are like missing songs that like, how does it tie in and stuff like that? Like, it gets my mind going.
Yeah, it's like the whole thing with Snitch was it was supposed to kind of feel like an 80s movie, like an 80s like high school drama kind of movie. And like with that like in mind, I was like, well, it would be fun to call it like Snitch Deleted Scenes for all of these tracks that like I originally considered or were like written very closely after, like still in the mindset of Snitch, and you know, make those like the deleted scenes. And then later I like went back with like some of the skits and stuff and tried to like tie them in kind of as like an end cap rather than like stuff that could have been placed in different like blocks in the album. But yeah, I like to just I don't even know what to say like about it exactly. Just like I like to just kind of be a little goofy with things, I guess you could say. But like I like to just I go whole ham on like whatever the bit is. Like I commit very hard to the bit. So like at some point I want to get vinyls pressed of like these two releases, like put them both together, maybe record like a cover or something so that at least there's something new on that. And then I would call that like the Snitch director's cut vinyl, keeping with like the movie theme and just like keep it all going. Cause like, you know, probably nobody's gonna put any thought to it like ever, but there will be like one kid like me who like sees that and is like, holy shit, they've tied it all together, when it's really just me being stupid and being like, this would be funny.
I think it's a great idea. You know,
The new metal song. Oh,
sorry, no, go ahead.
the new metal song is very much because he hired a bassist who loves new metal.
Yeah. Hayden had to fix that one.
I came in and I was like, oh, buddy, we're going to make this groovy. We did. All right.
But you were saying, so like if you were to add these deleted scenes into like the original Snitch, they would more fall towards the end, and we wouldn't see them like kind of in certain spots of the original Snitch release.
So I think reasonably, if this was like a full 12-track album together, I think I probably would have wove everything together a little bit differently. Like, and maybe that's what like the vinyl cut becomes, is like those tracks like actually put back into it. For the sake of this release, I just kind of made them like at the end. That way it's like you listen to Snitch and it could fade right into the deleted scenes EP, and it like continues talking about other stuff. I don't really know where most of it would go. I would probably put like the title track Snitch at the beginning, because that's just, it's such a good opener. It's so like it's just fast and heavy and goes crazy. I don't know where Dogma would go, because it's more about like religious shit instead of like Snitch is mostly about like a pretty bad relationship and like all that kind of stuff. Strings I think would still cap out everything like at the very end. And I also don't know where their here would go, but it's, that was kind of the other thing of it, is it was like I had two songs that like kind of could relate to the album itself, but then I got two other tracks that it's like they don't really relate to the subject matter of the album. They don't really fit into the story unless you make it like post Snitch, and it's like talking about other stuff that like has gone wrong, just to be like, all right, because there's like the little therapy sessions throughout like Snitch and the deleted scenes, and it was supposed to like, you know, kind of be like, all right, the Snitch sessions are done, let's dig a little deeper into your past and see like if there's other things causing issues for you, and that, or at least that was how I tried to tie it together. It could have worked, it could have not, I don't know.
I would argue that Dogma would go right in the middle of the Crash Out section of the album, so like right after Chains or right before Chains, because like if Teenagers by MCR can make it on the Black Parade, Dogma can make it on Snitch.
Dogma is very much a Crash Out song, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Chain, maybe that's why I like Chains and Dogma the most. Those are Crash out songs.
You just fuck crashing out, dog.
One of these days, I'm gonna flatten a mic into my head playing Chains.
He really will, dude. It's insane.
I watched the vocal. I don't know if they're still a band or not, but I watched the vocalist at Karma do that one night at a bar in Baltimore where I used to live, and that was insane, dude. It's a bug.
I mean, I've seen Dillinger Escape Plan twice. I've seen some shit happen to microphones.
Yeah,
and people.
He also like he cracked. I want to say he cracked. No. It was a tripod stand. I was gonna say he cracked one of those like big disc mic stands, but it was a later show, and he like flattened a tripod mic stand to where like all of the little stoppers broke, and it was just like limply hanging 3 tripod legs off of this mic stand. Karma's an insane band. They are sick.
Oh yeah.
But we got worried, like as somebody who was on venue staff, I got worried every time they came because I was like, something's gonna break, and I don't know what it is this time. I think a hole got put in the wall every time they played.
I love it.
It's great that like, the venue still let them come back, you know, despite, you know, things getting broken every time.
Oh, yeah. They were just like, hey, if you drop us like $40 for a patch kit, we'll force the promoters to patch the wall, and then like, we're cool. And like that was pretty much it. And the promoters were cool with it too, because they were like, we'd rather not lose this spot. So like we'll go to Home Depot, we'll get the patch kit, we'll work with the band to like get that all done up. Yeah.
They'd have to pass them $80 if they were drinking the alcoholic white monsters, because there'd be like at least 5 holes in the wall.
Dude, the alcoholic
I'm glad
White Monster, you
I'm
become
glad
an
those did not exist while I was running sound at that bar.
You drink an alcoholic White Monster, you're becoming an alcoholic White Monster. You know what I'm saying?
Dog, we had like knife fights when we were just drinking beer at that place. Like,
Yeah. Oh, dude.
It
It
was-
to grow up.
Take me
I'm
back.
from New
Take
Orleans,
me
dog.
back.
It was just guns.
dude, like we're kind of jumping into the music stories a little quicker than you had said, but like straight up, there was a time where my boss kicked somebody out, came back in, and like I was working a show with him the next day, and he goes, "Did you see me get stabbed last night?" And I was like, "No, when the fuck did that happen?" And then he pulls down like the back of his pants and shows me just a literal stab wound in his ass cheek that I guess happened when he was kicking somebody out the night before. And I was like, that's insane. Thank God I hide behind my little audio console and just yell at the bands for playing too loud.
Christ.
That's crazy. I don't think I've ever seen something like. I think the craziest I saw was just like, Cruel Hand was playing, and like these dudes were just moshing pretty, doing their thing. And there was a security guard that was trying to like slow him down, because like the dude was just going for it, his elbows flying, which everyone was fine, but he like went to go like touch the guy to like, hey, like bring it down, like stop march so hard, and then like he got hit by an elbow, so like the security guard like took it personally, and then like those two just duked it out in the middle of the pit for a little while, which is pretty great.
The security guy.
I don't think I've ever seen the security at a show like ever get like that involved into it. I think the most I saw a body snatcher. They were touring with Paleface, and this guy. I was pretty far back, and I thought I was safe. Like I usually like to get a little funky in the pit, but I saw like 2 seconds of this pit, and I was like, I can't. I'm too old for this shit now. And this guy pretty close to me, he like kind of turned my direction, put a mouth guard in, like flashed his mouth with the mouth guard in, turned around, and then just drop someone like that. And like they were like, people were throwing, he started throwing people over his back, and then security dove. And it was at the Abbey in fucking Orlando.
The Abbey,
Yeah,
no!
yeah, at the Abbey.
Abbey is not a hard moshing venue.
That's what
hell?
I'm saying. And mind you, this is like kind of like this is like an opera house type beat. Like not like it's not a second floor. I don't think. I've only been there once, so I could be wrong. But
no, there's no second floor.
It's a pretty nice venue. Like
it's
it was a sold out show, and people were, this guy was just fucking going at anyone he saw, and then there was him flashing the mouth guard like he was in like a UFC fight. Like it was just the most unhinged shit. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stay right here. Like I don't need to go anywhere.
Yeah, that's a
Dog,
whole
the
other
mouth guard
level.
comes out.
Dude, that's crazy. This is why this is why deathcore is just not for me.
Shout out deathcore.
Oh God.
Speaking of well, not speaking of deathcore, but I kind of mentioned that we get to see the return of a song on this EP. You released They're Here originally as like a demo in 2019, and we get to see it come back on this EP. Like, what? I know we were talking about like Snitch, and was They're Here also written around the time of Snitch, or was it like, how did that play into like resurgence now?
Yeah, so They're Here. So there was the 2 EP. Funny enough, 2 other songs had this happen, but they got changed very dramatically and barely resemble their original ones, other than like the main riff. So Dogma was originally Get Nasty on the No EP, and then Strings was originally Rebirth, which is what Josh still calls it. When we played our show Friday, he was writing down the set list for himself, and then he goes, I was like listing off all the songs. I was like, yeah. And then we play Strings last. And he was like, when do we play Rebirth? I was like, dog, that is the song.
That is Rebirth.
Yeah. But,
My brother in Christ, you play drums on the song.
Yeah. Crazy. But, that's what I get for not changing the working titles until like the week we uploaded everything to Spotify. But, yeah, originally I was very much kicking around They're Here to come out on Snitch. Like I genuinely thought, I think I was gonna have that open the album. I think that was gonna originally open the album, because While You Were Out, which opens the album now, was originally like an interlude. This was also probably when Snitch was like 15 songs long still, and I had not trimmed the fat. And I had like, there was a whole like seasons of the year theme going on with like 3 songs a season, and like it was way too much and way too ambitious. And thank God my roommate at the time like reeled me in. He was basically like, all right, most of what you had, or he was like, half of what you have kind of sucks. Tattletale, Fall, and Basilisk are cool. You should make everything a little bit more like that. So then I retooled Chains to be like that, and then I ignored him on the accounts of Cinderblock and Slow Dance, which Slow Dance was also very, very different from what it turned out being. It was originally like an acoustic guitar with like trap beats, spoken word kind of thing. And I don't know what possessed me one day, but I was just like, Alex, we need the Slow Dance song. And he was like, oh yeah, what do you mean? I was like, no, we need the Slow Dance song. So I just started kind of mashing on my little MIDI keyboard, and eventually we got something that sounded pretty good. And that song took us a while to do, because we had to rewrite it from scratch practically. And like, I think I came in with different lyrics every day I came in to record. Alex puts up with a lot when it comes to me, and I really appreciate it, because it makes a better product in the end. But he does put up a lot working with me.
I'm just real quick gonna throw in here. Sorry, not to cut you off, Hayden. I know for a fucking fact the first was like, yeah, I don't like these songs. That's Jesse written all fucking.
Yes,
over
it was Jesse.
Yep.
It was.
Yeah,
Jesse.
that doesn't even fucking. I just know it. Just like
Jesse will,
telling you,
Jesse
I
will
don't
come
like
up to you
it.
and be like, "This sucks. Do something different."
Yeah. When he told me after the show that I looked much more comfortable as the front man, that was one of the first moments where I was like, holy shit, maybe I am pretty good at this finally. Because like, if my old roommate's telling you something's good, it is genuinely really good. That man hates, like, that man is a born hater.
Jesse would go up to Da Vinci mid stroke of the Mona Lisa and be like mid, and then walk away and not explain it further.
It insists upon itself.
I'm gonna say it. Justice for the community college core version of Slow Dance.
No. No.
When are we gonna release that one?
No. We're not releasing acoustic trap hi-hats. Suicide Note. We're not doing that.
Dog.
Not releasing it. It's not happening.
Coming soon from a community college near you.
Oh God.
The most barefoot guy on campus has written a song.
Dude, Nick, that just reminds me of the fucking town crier at our college that would stand outside the Center for the Arts screaming that everybody was going to go to hell because they were gay.
Oh, I love that guy.
That guy was crazy.
Wait,
that guy you gave
ACC?
Yeah, no, at Towson.
Oh, yeah.
He would just like stand outside on him. He would stand outside on a milk crate, and straight up like the campus police would stand there at like 7 hours and 59 minutes or whatever the point would be where he's been there for too long, and just immediately carry him away every time. And like he would come back the next day.
I don't want to keep derailing us. I know there's like, we've gotten like 2 intro questions in. I want to keep us like 2 off track here, but you saw when there was like a big ass brawl with him there, right? It was like in the midst of like the 2016 election season. He went out there. It was when like a lot of like the big like riots like started rocking, like a lot of the, like the bigger protests started. He was out there. He started some shit, and people came out in fucking droves out there.
God,
good. That guy was kind of fucking annoying, if I'm being honest.
Trying to get
he just came out there every day and be like, Jesus loves you. You're going to hell, but he loves you. I swear. I'm passing judgment with this megaphone outside of a college campus where people are just trying to learn how to act and write music.
You give that dude one alcoholic white monster, it would change his brain chemistry.
That's what I'm saying.
Dude, we should find him and just give him one to see what
Yeah.
happens now.
See what happens.
You put it in a normal white Monster can, it tastes so similar. He won't know.
Well, actually,
He's like, I'm not feeling the caffeine. You're like, here's another.
you're probably gonna have to put it like in a styrofoam cup because he's gonna see the monster and then they're gonna be like, well, you see, like, remember that lady that had the video of like,
Oh my god,
Brown
Yeah, I was
down
about
the
to say,
monster, like-
he knows. He knows.
What? There's like a fucking crazy clip, crazy quote from that video. I feel like all the quotes from that
No,
video are
it's
crazy. But...
you turn the can up and the devil laughs. That's it.
yeah, that's what it was.
Because the cross is upside down on the monster can
Oh
when you
my
go full
God.
tilt.
Oh, I
my
love
God.
evangelicals.
I'll
I
drink,
wish
I'll
they-
drink to that.
They'd
What
be
do they
so
say about
much
the-
funnier if they didn't have any real power.
What do they say about the Yingling bird going upside down? What is that? It's a diving
You know
for
what
a
they say?
salmon.
There's like, that boy's got
What a
an
noise you
coming out
just
his
made
nose.
in my ears. Glad I
All right,
didn't
while
take
he's
a
down,
video.
get a question.
Yeah, yeah, please,
go.
please change topics.
You know, I figured since you know, for this 4-song EP, you guys actually do have a music video for each song, which, you know, for most DIY bands, I feel like that's kind of unheard of. Usually it's like 1, maybe 2 music videos, just because, you know, time gets expensive and getting people together to do stuff is always kind of hard sometimes. But you do a music video for each one, so I figured we kind of go through and break them down a little bit. If there's anything kind of deeper in there, I know they're probably not too much deeper. Evangelical, you know, tie-in to what we were talking about, but
Yeah.
I figured we'd talk a little bit about them. You know, for people that have maybe checked out the Dogma, which one I forgot to mention, the spelling of Dogma, loved it.
Hell yeah, I'm glad because I was like, this is kind of silly, but I hope people fuck with it. Like,
yeah.
it's my dog.
Like one, Dogma in general, when you just hear the name, like everyone thinks the iconic Kevin Smith movie, but then the spelling, you know, I call my dudes dogs all the time, so like I loved it.
Big dog.
It's very new metal. It's got
yeah.
that very new metal feel. Like,
But you know, that music video is nice and fun. It's just like live shots of you guys playing in like a DIY space with some like trippy effects to it. I gotta say, when I don't know their name, but when the singer from Granite States comes in and like it's just that like circle and he's like popping through it, it's like so trippy, but it comes out so fucking cool at the same time.
Yeah, big shout out to Gabriel Lugo on that music video because that music video was incredibly scuffed from start to finish. We booked a date and we were like, yeah, it's just gonna be like a kind of fun performance video. I had originally tried to see if Ben could fly down to like be there in person and shoot it real quick. I would have paid for his flights just for the hell of it, just to like try and get so, you know, it's one of those like once in a lifetime. We don't know if we'll get to do all this again. So I was like, might as well. He unfortunately was like in the busy season of his work, so wasn't able to. So then I was like, yeah, just like film something and we'll figure it out. And thankfully Gabe got in, he filmed a bunch of what he wanted. He filmed a whole bunch of stuff that probably didn't get used because I had a whole bunch of ideas just kind of kicking around like I usually do. But we eventually we didn't get those because it would have been probably a little bit easier for him if we had got the Ben videos while we were shooting, but we didn't get those until like maybe 10 minutes after we finished shooting the video. And we were like, I guess we got all the footage we need. We'll get whatever Ben has. And Gabe was like, yeah, I'll figure it out from there. And like 10 minutes after we said that, the videos hit my inbox. And I sent them over to Gabe and he was like, yeah, I could totally make these work. So it was it was a very like kind of scuffed process. Like I tried to get a projector from work to like project like stained glass like church images over us, and I don't think you can see any of that in the music video because I did not get like nearly a bright enough projector. I think we were also projecting like a fucking Kenneth Copeland like worst moments compilation or something.
Joel Osteen, I think, wasn't it?
Probably him too. I fucking hate both of them. So
you had both of them up there. I was gonna say, tagging along just to the scuffness of that. Well, first and foremost, you shout out Gabe. I gotta give a big shout out. Well, you said it already, but Ben, Granite State, Ben's a fucking animal. Also, shout out to Spot. not as
Yes. Shout out the
DIY.
spot.
That's the good ass venue in Orlando. You want
Mhm.
to see some real fucking hood rat shit? Go there. It's a good
Go to
time.
the spot.
But no, so that was my first ever music video. I mean, Snitch technically was my first music video, but we'll talk about the Snitch music video more in a second. But first, like more kind of choreographed, directed music video experience
Yeah,
for
it was your
me.
first real one, and not just us with a camera in my living room.
Yeah, and so I'm like, I don't like. I know you gotta like, you gotta play, but like you're not really playing, whatever. But I was like, I'm just gonna get real into this and like kind of go all out on like the very first things, not realizing it was gonna be like 4 hours of recording, and
Mm-hmm.
I ended up breaking my two lowest strings on my guitar like the second shot into it. So like that entire video, pretty much the entire video, you see my hand a little bit closer to it. It's because I'm holding my strings together essentially because they were on like a thread like this thin and like they were all loose as shit. So like I'm just like grabbing them up here, like trying to hold everything together. That was rough for me. I was so nervous. Like I think I fucked this entire shot up because my strings were just not like present at all during that entire music video. But it worked out great. So I'm happy.
Yeah.
How it's all together.
Gabe's a wizard. He did our photos at our most recent show too, and like he straight up turned around everything within like 24 hours of us getting off stage. It was
Wow.
I could
He
not
is
fucking
a
believe it. Like video editing, photo editing, like all of it. Gabe Lugo is an animal, and you should hire him if you're in like Orlando, or if you can pay to have him on tour or whatever.
that man gets possessed by the spirit of creativity in a way that like I do a lot of my own, like I like video production, I like photography, I like all of that. Like I have been doing that for years. I got my start in the film industry. Um and like I went to film school and I rapidly learned that like I wanted to do this stuff for myself. I did not like it at a corporate level. Um the problem, and I'm sure a lot of creatives, if there's like creatives listening to this, like the problem is starting your project. You do everything you need and then you sit down to put it all in, and it's like so overwhelming because you're like, I don't even know where to start. Gabe does not seem to have that problem. And if he does, he overcomes it so quick. He is possessed by the spirit of creativity in a way that I would like literally sell my soul to be a part. Like, cause he just, everything he churns out is gold. He is incomparable. He is fantastic. Like I am breathless every time I get a sample of the work that he does for us. He's so good.
Yeah,
And like,
he
he is
rocks,
so,
and like the vibe is perfect for what we're doing. Like with
Mhm.
his photos and all that. Like it's all very chaotic and very like kind of looks like a broken camera shot it, and that's exactly what I wanted.
Mhm.
Yeah, it came out so well. Like, like I said, the trippiness of it, the different visual effects that are happening, and then just and forgive me, Granite State's singer again,
Ben,
Ben,
Mr. Ben
just,
Rockwood.
like that. Even though like you could tell like they weren't there, like just the way it was tied in and like used with his footage like was still super sick. And like that whole music video came out really amazing. And then like you guys said, like that's you could tell it's like a good DIY spot the way it's all like kind of painted up and stuff. And like I can't imagine like how sick a show would be at that spot.
It's very sick. I can
It's
tell
sick.
you. We've played. That's the venue I think we've played the most times in here, just because like one of my good friends Zeke runs it. And he's always cool to put on like multi-genre shows, which is kind of like what we have to play with the shit that we write. But yeah, Zeke's awesome. Shout out Lucid or Sal. I never know which name he actually goes by, but he goes by both. He's the one that kind of owns it, and then Zeke runs the booking company that kind of like books everything with it. I think Zeke's also a part owner, but yeah, spot rocks. It's a very good space. The other videos are not as exciting. The strings one was literally my fiance and I shot that pretty much in its entirety, just like on our iPhones. I was like, I want to make kind of a funny video about like our dog waiting for her to get home, because like the song's about her and how much I love her, but I was like, it'd be funny if it was about the dog and like how much he loves her and how much he's always waiting for her to like come home from work and all that. So she helped me shoot a good bit of it, and then I just kind of chopped it up in DaVinci. Same thing with the Snitch video. I was like, let's just make kind of like a silly, like we could just do a video for Snitch, which Snitch was supposed to be like the initial single, and then we got the mix back for Dogma with Ben's feature and Diego's record scratches on it, and we were kind of like, nah, this has got to be the first one. There's no other way to go.
Dogma was,
but we shot the Snitch video, and we were like, let's just make like kind of a goofy performance video where it's like the whole thing is just like dudes playing video games on a couch messing with each other, like
like I have it in my notes of just like a chill Friday night with the boys.
Exactly, that was the vibe we wanted. Josh was on tour when we filmed that, which is why he's green screened on a laptop for all of the footage.
It took me way longer to realize that like it was them playing in like on the laptop screen, and I just thought it was like, for some reason, in my mind I thought it was the camera, like like the camera screen looking back at you, just like while you guys were like filming yourselves, and then I like it fully clicked up. I'm like, oh wait, no, that's the drummer actually like playing his parts. Like that's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I think they were
say. Oh shit, sorry. I was gonna say, you say chill Friday night with the boys. Meanwhile, like at 3 separate moments in that video, both of these idiots are just beating the shit out of me in that video. So I don't know if I agree fully with that statement, but also like I kind of agree with it because that is just usually how Friday nights with these idiots go. But
that's how anytime we
tackled him.
That's how anytime playing a video game with this guy goes. Literally, it's just everybody gangs up to bully his ass.
And they know like this is what happens every time. We were like, we're gonna play games, we're gonna drink, and in my mind going into it, I'm like, don't take it seriously, enjoy yourself. Like they're gonna fuck with you, and they're gonna try to get you going. And I go and I'm like, hey, I'm Mr. Cool, Calm, and Collected tonight. Then one thing happens that like I'm not ready for, and I'm like, I get a little quiet, and then Paul especially will start like going like that, knowing he's getting to me, and then like all of a sudden he does like one more thing, and then I just crash out as hard as humanly possible. All momentum stops. I'm yelling at both of them, and they're giggling like little schoolgirls because, and they will say like, "We got him again." And I'm like, I know you got me, but hear me out. I gotta explain why I'm pissed off right now. And then it's just like 30 minutes later of me just like having a meltdown.
Come on, brother. You can't be mad at the gambling hotline. This dude installed some like Lethal Company gambling mod, and we were fucking around with it.
We were there.
Paul's really good at.
We were playing a game, a game that was included, not in a game. Yeah, see, now I'm fucking going. Fuck both of you, first and foremost. Second, this is an hour there watching these idiots spin slot machines. They're playing the spooky like collect trash game. We
came in and
played it all on black, baby.
And then he comes out and pulls out a sign, holding up the gambling addiction hotline number, being like, "Y'all need to call these motherfuckers." And that was it. I was done after that night. That was the funniest shit I've ever seen, but also I fucking can't. I
had you
on the ropes with the double it and give it to the next person that I kept.
No, you had me on the ropes when you pulled out a margarita glass the size of your body.
That's also true.
Paul's really good at getting the crash out, and I'm really good at like prolonging the crash out.
Yeah.
Like starting a bonfire, and these fucking idiots are cooking s'mores over it, and I'm dying.
The crash out with Hayden is always, he's got a button on there and he knows exactly how to get me. He's got a button on his soundboard that plays the Outlook email notification, and on God, that shit gets me primed to like.
I can't do it now because we're on a podcast, but I'll do. Oh, dude, it's great. I'll just
gets me primed to like split my desk in half every time I hear the Outlook notification outside of my place of work.
Oh man, we have fun here.
And then the last video for that was another kind of scuffed situation, but Mr. Gavin Tiltshift pulled through real hard. I found out he's the one that does all of our buddies in Lost Trees stuff. And then that's when I was like, oh, cool. I'm going to go to him for like anything I need, like 3D visuals, like pre-rendered stuff for. So he did the They're Here stuff. I was like, I just want it to kind of look like an alien abduction. You can have him like picking up a cow or something. Like I was like, you can do whatever you want with it. And he was like, I think his exact message he responded with was, "What if we faked the moon landing?" And I was like, all right, we got to back it up there. Okay, we got to back it up. People might believe that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
listen, if I can convince my dad's if I can convince my great aunts, my dad's aunts on Facebook that I'm a flat earther, you can convince people that the moon landing was fake.
Not the April Fool's bit.
Oh, dude. No, my April Fool's bit is always that I tag myself at the Church of Scientology. Yeah.
God. But
every year I tag myself at the Church of Scientology, whichever city I live in, and there's one woman, she is so sweet, but she's so stupid. She falls for it every year.
Yep.
Every year.
I got something a little important here. I need y'all to see this real quick. This is so incredibly important. No, I need this is important. I was gonna do a bit. I was hoping to be a little bit quieter. No, I'm not. I'm doing just a more of a. Okay, she's being extra. No, I was gonna just have my hand out and be like, I'm calling a beer like it's Mjolnir, but she's coming in.
The beer hit my hand like Mjolnir on a Friday night.
There we go.
Is it on a plate?
Yes, it fucking is.
That's
and
amazing.
She had a towel on her arm too. That's damn. That's a woman.
God, I gotta get a girlfriend.
Mine just left for Jonas Con.
Yeah, buddy.
And yes, that's exactly what you think it is. It's some Jonas Brothers convention.
Paul's girlfriend is a wonderful human being from
girlfriend,
New Jersey, so we forgive her.
That's his fiance, and you get it right.
Yeah, put some respect on it.
I did not buy a dirt cheap ring for nothing.
Only weirdos get married.
That's true. But yeah, here was another kind of scuff situation because I definitely hit Gavin up like 2 weeks before that song came out and was like, hey, I kind of need a video. You think you can get it done in this time frame? He was like, yeah, the rendering shouldn't take that long. And then it did actually take that long. And I think we put it out at like 5 p.m. the day the EP came out, but it was like, we're posting so much anyways. Nobody's going to notice that like here's little visualizer wasn't there, but he killed that shit. Like it was exactly what I had imagined in my brain. So I can imagine we're definitely going to be going back to him and probably Gabe in the near future for whenever we make some more stuff.
Hell yeah. Yeah, because in that video, obviously we see it does abduct someone in a couple different scenes. But then, like, if you watch the visualizer on, Spotify, all the Spotify listeners that check stuff out there, you see a different thing getting abducted. You actually see the mascot that's on Hayden's hat getting abducted.
John Business.
Business.
Oh, did you call him John Business? Is that what we're going with?
John Business.
The moon John Business himself. All right, cool. Yeah, that was a fun bit from the recent show that we played. We all pulled up, and then all of a sudden, Nick and his girlfriend Bort just start pulling hats out of a bag. And they're like, "We got these for you guys." Yeah, it was awesome. And then everybody was like, "We gotta wear the hats," and I was like, "Guys, we are not going up there like fit for a king. Everybody wearing the same fucking thing. We're not."
Though the problem with all that too is it kind of started out, and I was like, "Oh, he's gonna like." Have an aneurysm because Paul told me about that Target. There was a button-up short sleeve Coors Banquet shirt, and I was like, "Yo, that rips! I'm getting that." And as soon as I got it, I was like, "Black jeans and the button-up at the next show. Like I have to." And I knew he bought it, and I was like, and I sent a message. I think I sent a message like, "I'm rocking the Banquet shirt at the show." But that was like a week or two before the show. I show up and I see Paul. I'm like, oh, so we're just going to be matching tonight. And thankfully he was wearing shorts, not jeans. But I was like, then back then I'm like, I'm going to give these hats out. And if we do the hats and the shirt, like that's going to be so much that doesn't need to be happening. Like I was wearing a different hat that night. And I'm like, I'm keeping that hat on because like I can't do it.
Yeah, we both kept our different hats on. I think Hayden, you and Alex both wore the new hat.
Yeah, we both were playing.
But yeah, I kept my little.
I'm a bassist. I have to wear a hat.
No, you're supposed to show off the shiny dome to assert your dominance over the other bassists. You see that? That's bass playing right there. He hasn't even touched one, and you know he's good.
Oh my goodness!
I'll palm that shit like LeBron, Game 5.
One of my friends palmed it one time on like a sunny Florida day, and I had sunscreen and sweat just like pooling off of it. And he was like, "Oh," and I was like, you were anointed today."
It's like, ooh, you should have thought about that a little harder.
He was anointed in the holy oils.
Please ask another question and get off this topic. I'm begging you. Please.
Yeah,
Save him.
come up with something. So I was actually gonna try and come up with a really good question, mainly because obviously I saw on Instagram. I don't know if you guys actually watch a lot of wrestling, but you know the actual Speed getting speared by Braun Breaker, which is amazing. I loved watching that live. But also on Blue Sky, it might have been. You guys posted the iconic Bionicle Nike shoe, and I was trying to come up with like what would be like. Maybe you guys can help me like finish off this question. Would you rather get super kicked in the face with the Bionicle shoe, and like I was gonna say either get speared by Braun, but I feel like that might be an easy question. I couldn't think of another wrestling thing to tie in that would work.
Who's wearing the shoe?
I mean, right now,
It don't matter.
Basing it off of right now, I feel like, you know, it's got to be Jey Uso. But if you want a good super kick, it's got to be Shawn Michaels, the iconic one. You never get up from that one.
Yeah, no, I know what I'm picking. I know what I'm picking immediately. Give me the Heartbreak Kid.
Yeah, but it's that, or would you rather be in a cell for 2 minutes with Macho Man Randy Savage from the first Spider-Man movie, aka Bonesaw?
Bonesaw.
I got you for 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Going nowhere.
Yeah, see, that's different. That's a bit.
That's onesie did your husband make it for you? Oh, the Spider-Man said that, not Macho Man Randy Savage.
God.
Still, though, I want to say everything in that. I want a version of that movie where every quote in the movie is voiced by Macho Man Randy Savage.
To fully answer the question, though, I still think I'd rather get kicked by the Bionicle foams. I feel like one, that's such a rare pull. Like, if I saw someone in public rocking the Bionicle shoes, like, I don't know what I would do with myself. I'd probably steal them, if I'm being honest. Like, you don't get many opportunities. Like, I don't try to commit many crimes. I really, I shouldn't say that. I try to commit no crimes. Government, thank you. But like if I had to commit a crime, I'm assuming those shoes are less than $1,000, so it's not it's not larceny. It's just a petty theft, and I can I can pay a fine for that as long as I get to keep the shoes. I lost them in a boning accident. I've heard that works before.
Listen, I'm cooling if I get stomped out by the Bionicle shoes. I'm cooling unless it's the blue mask. If it's the blue mask, all they had was that. The only power they had was water breathing at that point. Come on, man. They're not powered up unless they're like dragging you into the inner harbor or something like that. Like
I'm not Bionicle autistic. I apologize.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah.
You missed out, brother. They had all American rejects on that shit.
They did. They fucking did.
Hard commercial.
I think still at my parents' house, because Bionicle for a while too, they did like a comic series.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I have like every single issue still at my parents' house. So I should look into those.
I had a bunch. I don't think they survived the like 4 times my dad moved over the course of my childhood, but they might be around.
I would say it would be a bad call. However, if you have every issue, I would imagine that goes for some money. But at the same time, I would like encase those, put them in a safe, wait a couple more years, and then like you're gonna have like $150,000 like collection on you.
Yeah,
you're right. I'll just leave them at my parents' house where they've been sitting for the last 20 something years.
Hell yeah,
and that's perfect safe right there.
Exactly.
That's something I'm shocked like Lego hasn't tried to revive again. Like I know they had the failed revival in like 2016, 2017 or something like that, but I'm shocked they haven't tried to go back with all the like late 90s, early 2000s nostalgia that's been going on. Like
that's true.
I feel like that's just such a cash grab, and I'm kind of mad respect for Lego for not going for that immediate cash grab, but also like just reprint the original ones. Like I'll buy them.
I would dip into the 401k for some of the originals. Like fuck my retirement. I'm building a Bionicle, bitch.
Yep. I don't know.
I remember one time before, like I even saw the commercials for it. Because they ended up coming out with a version of it where you could take basically 2 Bionicles and like make like a giant Bionicle.
Yup.
And I remember I did that on my own once with like 2 or 3 of them, and then I saw the commercial. I was like, "There's a spy outside my house. Like they totally watched me fucking do that." It's crazy.
I had that thing so many times, but with like Lego City sets. because I would like build something that didn't exist already with like the like Lego City, or like they had some kind of like civil servant set or something. I had a whole bunch of like firefighter Legos, and I like built something out of that. And then like a couple months later, I saw like a commercial for the thing that I had built, and I was like, they got cameras in my house. What's happening right now?
All I'm gonna say, and just because I've known Paul for a while, albeit we didn't know each other super well when we were in high school when we first met. I know that Paul's introduction to ACAB came through when he bought a Lego City set, and it was the cops and robbers, and he was like, "Yo, the robbers are kind of onto something here."
I hate to say it, the Brickster was never on to something.
The Brickster, he knows it by name.
The Brickster, bro. That was Lego
We got
Island
him.
2.
We got him.
You couldn't feed him pizza because he would fucking breathe fire on the bars and melt the bars to jail and break out.
It would. Yeah, but that's how you beat the game. You had to feed him pizza to beat the game.
Well, yeah.
Otherwise, you
I'm
just
sorry,
wander around Lego
I'm
Island all day.
realizing I have fed a just a
You're
nugget
feeding
of
the beast.
Yeah,
I know, and you're drinking an alcoholic white monster, and I don't need. It literally says "feed the beast" on the can.
That
Paul actually
No, it just says
used
the
to
beast.
speed run Lego Island too.
I did it as a bit one time. That was a good one.
Yeah.
My buddy ran a charity stream every year, and they were like, "Hey, can you come in and like sub in for us for a little bit so we can go like get lunch and like all that? Can you do something that'll take an hour?" And I was like, "You know, it only takes an hour to do Lego Island 2 on the PS1." So I had a bit where I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna speed run Lego Island 1," and they were like, "Well, it only takes like 45 minutes to finish. Like if you're hitting like world record paces, what are you going to do if you finish early?" I was like, here's the thing. I'm going to let people pay $10 to make me start over. Forgetting that my brother was watching the stream and had $100 on deck to reset me every time I made it to like the second island or something like that. Like it would be like a certain point I would hit. I would like drive through a teleporter, and then he would immediately pay $10 and reset me.
Wow.
We raised a lot of money for Alzheimer's research that night. I tell you what.
Yes, sir.
Well, I know we're getting nice and loose. Granted, we've been nice and loose this entire time, so I know we're amping up to get to the later half of this episode. But before I do that, I know we kind of talked, music videos, the deleted scenes, and I just want to make sure that there's nothing that I might have missed between No Business or the deleted scenes that you want the people to know about.
No, I can't really think of anything. I think I've like told all enough times to like kind of get all the info out. I think it's pretty cool. I want the people to listen to it. I want the people to like listen to it and the album kind of together and kind of make those little connections and all that. But like, I can't like force feed a story down somebody's throat. They'll have to figure it out. But yeah, it's cool. I'm glad these songs are out. I'm glad that I don't have to think about these songs anymore. Because again, like 2 of them were on that like early 2017 EP and have been like brought forward. So like I'm at a point where like, thank God those songs got changed so much. Because like if they didn't, I would be tired of them at this point.
Well, because like that's something that I kind of mentioned on a decent amount of episodes. Is just like I commend bands for like all the time and one, you're sitting on the songs, but like you're working on these songs forever. So obviously, like you said, they've been on that original EP since like 2017. You've had them in your back pocket. You've listened to them in a few different versions, but to now release them in 2025, like to sit on them for that long, like is crazy. Like I can't imagine listening to something for that long and then like still having to like still play it and everything, and then like do that whole promotion for it, and then just be like, I still have to do the cycle for these songs, and I just want this to be over.
It's so weird that way, because it's like I look at it sometimes and like take Snitch for example. I wrote Basilisk and Tattletale in like 2016, maybe minutes after finishing the like No EP that's up on Bandcamp. I wrote those songs like minutes afterwards because I was like, I need more Drop B songs because most of that EP is in Drop D. And I wrote those like back to back and then sat on them from like 2016 until like 2020 when we recorded them. and we recorded them in 2020, which, nothing in particular happened that year.
No,
and
totally
then,
boring. Yeah, normal.
I just, for no unbeknownst reason, decided to sit on them for 2 to 3 more years after that. Yeah, it was just, I wanted to play shows with that stuff. And if I had gone back and done it sooner, I probably would have just put them out in like 2021 or something like that, knowing what I know now. It's like that's the big thing I think about the CP, is that it's been a real learning experience of like, just release the music. Like, just when it's done,
put it out,
make something and put it out. Like, that's kind of it at this point. And that's kind of what I learned, is it's like, when you just put out music, like, people get to hear new music, and maybe you gain a couple people that fuck with you off of that. Like, it was crazy, because like, we put out Dogma, and it was like numbers beyond comprehension that I've like never seen for the band before. And I'm like, oh, so all I had to do was just put out another song, and like, we would have been fine. And like, we could have been putting out music this whole time. But I'm glad we waited as long as we did, and I'm glad we like perfected everything.
With this mentality now, are you guys gonna, like, going forward, just release singles as they like come to you guys, or are you gonna still try and do like the EP route, like kind of the old heads?
No, I'm stupid and don't participate in what Spotify likes. So like, we're writing an album right now, which
yeah.
I know is really stupid to do as a band our size, but like, I don't care. Like, I got stuff to say, and I got a fun idea, and like, the songs are good. So like, I'd rather just do it the way I want to. And like, there's not, we're small. There's not a label to tell me I can't do that. So until there is one, I'm just going to keep doing whatever I want.
That right there, you just touched on something that like I feel is like a personal philosophy of mine, is that like it just do what you want. It's free. Like, fucking fuck it. Like, do it. I have been preaching a lot of imperfect action to people recently, because like I mentioned this in like our pre-show warm up, but I'm on like a big health and fitness journey right now, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, I want to do that. I just don't know what I'm doing." I'm like, "Yeah, I didn't either." And like, still to this day, there's a lot of shit I have no idea what I'm doing. And like, imperfect action, and this is, if anybody takes anything from this podcast from me, let it be this. It doesn't matter if you know what you're doing, just start, because you will do something wrong and then go, "Oh, how do I do that better?" Or "How do I do that right?" And you will hone in on that, and then you'll find something else where you're like, "Oh, I didn't realize I was doing this wrong. Now that I know how to do this right." And then just, it's a domino effect, and you learn more and more, and then eventually you do it right. And like, it's an Adventure Time quote, but it's one I quote a lot, where Jake the dog says, sucking at something is the first step towards being sort of good at something. And I like live by that, because for a long time, but especially before pandemic, dude, like through my 20s, I was so terrified of everything, like I didn't do anything. And like, I'm finally at that point where I don't want to be that guy anymore. So you just do it. Just go do it. Like, no one, your dad's not there to tell you not to do it. Just do it. Like, go do it.
Yeah.
Who's stopping you? And that has been a big philosophy I have carried into my life, and I'm going to carry for the rest of my life, because it has worked out so well so far. Like, the minute I adopted that, everything about my life got better, and I was like, "Oh, sick!" Like,
yeah,
now we're here.
I think it helped me with that, to realize that like, a lot of these bands that are like doing things right and kind of rising as like bands, like take our drummer's band Heavy Hitter, for example. That band is comprised of a whole bunch of people who have been grinding their asses off for years and not getting it anywhere, until like, this is the magic one that makes it. And it's like, this is the magic one that like, probably for them, this is the one that makes it, because like, they finally have enough knowledge of like everybody together, of like, they know what they're doing now. They've learned from all of their past bands and stuff. Like, I'm on my like, what is it? I've been like in 3, 4, 5 or so bands at this point, and like, I've only had 2 of them do moderately well with anything. It's like, you learn from every band that you're in, and you kind of learn like new stuff to do. So it's like, yeah, sure, you're gonna put out some stinkers. Let's be honest here. I have put out some real stinkers. They're on Bandcamp if you want to listen to them. But like, eventually, you just kind of, you either learn how to do it, or you learn that you can't do it, and you get somebody to help you. And that's kind of what it boils down to, is like, I learned I can't do it all alone, and I got Alex to help me. And then Alex and I learned we can't do it all alone. We got the rest of the boys to help us. So it kind of, it all goes in a circle.
It's nice being in a band where I go, I don't think I like this. Let me see what I can do. And like that's valid. Because I've been in bands before where everybody else came to the table with so much stuff. They were like, you write the bass. And I'm like, can we change this? And they're like, no. And Dogma, I always called it Get Nasty. Dogma was a very much an attestment to that, where like I walked in and I was like, we could do this instead. And I wrote something and like that's the song now.
Yeah.
Like it's killer. And the creative process works so much better when you sit back and you like, and back to imperfect action. When you find out when you're like, this is something that I need help on, it's totally fine. If you cannot do it yourself, it is totally fine to find someone who can help you do it. You just have to find someone who's on that same wavelength. That same wavelength of like, yeah, man, let's do it. Like, put out the songs. I'm going to put my name on it. Like, the ship goes down, we go down together. Like, it's worth doing for this. And like,
Yeah.
that's something that I think this band excels at, is that like, we'll just put it out because we like it. We'll just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can definitely tag on to that with when my first really big, I say most contribution to the EP was my vocal spot on Snitch. Realistically, going into that, Paul had seen me just do a couple of vocal covers that I very shittily mixed myself and had no idea what the fuck I was doing. And I had popped on stage a few times when I saw them play, the boys play live. But it was cool because like when Paul told me about it, he was like, "Hey, this is your spot, and here's the lyrics I wrote. Do whatever you want with it." And at first, I was like, you sure? Like, I'll just do whatever you want me to do. And he was just like, no, like whatever you're comfortable. Like, if you want to change the words, even like you can change the words. Like, I don't want to like kind of confine you into like doing just one little thing. And it's not a super long spot, but it was so cool just to like be given that freedom and have that ability to kind of like express myself the way that I want to express myself vocally, which like that being my first like legit uh recording session ever of anything. Like it was just such a cool opportunity to like be able to like have like like everyone in the band has pretty different music tastes, and like I like a lot heavier shit, and he like the fact I was able to like do heavy like kind of deathcore type shit on there was like I was like, this is super dope to like have that influence on there.
On one 4-song EP, we have deathcore vocals and we have like a melodramatic post rock bass riff, and we also have blast beats, and those aren't even in the same songs.
Yeah, none of those. It's all over the place.
I mean, it's a great EP, and everyone listening, please, if you haven't already, go listen to Snitch, the deleted scenes, because it's phenomenal. And then obviously listen to Snitch in itself. But you guys killed it on this EP, and I'm really stoked to see kind of like what this next album looks like, and where you guys continue from here. Because like especially like we were kind of saying, Nick is just on the EP vocally, so to have what he's going to be contributing on this next album it's going to like shed another light on everything too. So it'll be super sick.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Very excited.
However many tracks we have so far it's shaping up to be something pretty special, but we got to get there first.
Yeah.
The journey is the fun part.
Yeah. Well, like I said, everyone go listen to Snitch, the deleted scenes. We're going to start to transition to the later half of this episode, which, before we get there, this is obviously Beers with Bands. You don't have to be drinking on these episodes because I'll definitely do that for you.
Can I go get another beer?
Yes, you may.
All right, we're drinking the Kirin Ichiban. It's the best for a reason, baby. Somebody play the Naruto or Neon Genesis Evangelion filler episode music while I'm drinking this shit. I can't decide which one I like better of those two because they're both like such like iconic filler episode music, and it's just like, oh, nothing important is gonna happen right now.
For a second there, I thought you were saying like you couldn't decide which was better, that or the white alcoholic monster.
I know
Hard
which one
choice.
tastes better, but I think I like the Kirin better still.
Listen, Kieran's a special beer, dude. Kieran's
It
magical. I love
is.
it. One time, Paul and I went and got sushi. We were way more excited about the Kieran Ichibans than we were about the sushi. Like
Yeah.
the sushi was good, but we both had like a couple of tall, just like frost cold Kieran Ichibans. We were like, oh yeah, man,
Yeah.
this is
Shout
the
out to
life.
Kiko Sushi and fuck you, Full Sail University for bulldozing their building and forcing them to move 30 minutes away from my house.
Oof.
God. I'll
Uh,
go
They
next because
did
Nick's
put a
got a bit.
Canes there, so like all is not lost, but
They did put a Canes there. We went to
Certified
Canes. I had
Caniacs
Canes for the
rise
first
up.
time in like over. I had Canes for the first time since moving to Florida the other day. I'm a native Louisiana boy. Like I'm from Cajun country. My all my relatives talk like this. They're all very flat and they live in the bayou. Like that's where I'm from. And like we had Canes from the time I was like 13 years old. So like moving away from it really hurt. That's why I lost 65 pounds. But no, and we went the other day and it was just a mountain of beige.
yeah.
So good. I guess I'll go next. I'm drinking a caffeine-free Coke Zero because alcohol costs calories and it's 9:30 p.m. Uh,
Woo!
yeah, I normally I would be drinking. I'm a Yingling guy or a Kirin Ichiban guy. I have liquor in my cabinet. I like Espolòn tequila. I really, really like I'm a big whiskey, like bourbon and whiskey guy. I usually have like what I call my nice whiskey, which is like my sipping whiskey. That usually is like a Suntory Toki. If you've never had, or like a Hibiki, if you've never had a Japanese whiskey, I do recommend it. It's so
I
good.
have had the
I'm a-
Hibiki. That shit rocks.
it's so good. I am also a big Kentucky whiskey guy. I don't necessarily care for Tennessee whiskey. I find them very sweet and syrupy. Jack Daniel. I find they all taste like Jack Daniels now. Kentucky whiskey. I'm a big Woodford guy. Nick has given me shit for that. Um, was it you or was it another friend of ours?
It
No, I
wasn't
just think
me.
you're.
I know that.
It's Woodford's a perfectly fine whiskey if you just
Uh,
like being boring, but that's besides the
no,
point.
I
Woodford
was
is
gonna say
fantastic. Get the
you looked like you were in pain when you were saying that. So
It's a
Get the
lot of
double
money for
barrel
not a
oaked.
lot of
Get the
whiskey.
double barrel oaked whiskey. No, get the double barrel oaked Woodford and tell me it's boring. It's so good.
how y'all
Woodford's a
feel
very good
about
sip of
Wild
whiskey. Fuck you,
Turkey?
Nick. Um,
One on
I
one,
love
baby. Come on now.
Blanton's. And my sipping my lesser, and this is funny. I had an ex-girlfriend who didn't know what I drank, and she found Basil Hayden's whiskey, and she didn't know anything about whiskey. She just knew I looked like a glass of whiskey. So she was like, "Here, I got you this," and it was Basil Hayden's, and I laughed so hard because I'd never had it, and I went through my most of my life thinking it was bad. And then I tried it, and now Basil Hayden's is really good. And it's what's funny is I'm gonna find out soon
Mm.
that Basil Hayden's is from Tennessee. I'm gonna Google it right now, and we're gonna find out it's from Tennessee, and I'm gonna have to eat my fucking words. Uh,
Ooh.
but Basil Hayden's really, really good whiskey. It's really, really, really good whiskey. It's Kentucky.
Ah,
Vindicated.
I'll say I think Wild Turkey's Kentucky, right?
Wild
Amen,
Turkey.
brother. It don't matter where it's from. I'm
Amen,
flying when I'm drinking it.
dude.
Much bigger. I'm a much
We
bigger
had a
Kentucky bourbon guy. It's
we
funny
had a
better.
legendary bottle of Wild Turkey at my mom's house. That the legend was every time somebody drank out of it, somebody threw up. Um, didn't matter what was going on that night. Didn't matter how much they had. Somebody was throwing up when they had that Wild Turkey. My brother got caught by it a couple times.
We
Well,
had oh, go on.
I was gonna say I'll jump in with what I'm drinking tonight.
Yeah,
Just,
Nick, what are you drinking
kinda-
tonight?
What am I drinking tonight? Well, I'm having as I stated before, I'm having a little Yingling. Celebrate a good podcast so far. Just
I'm mad that the noise suppressor is not going to get us the glug. Holy shit, that was fast.
That was impressive.
That's a manimal.
I mean, this is what I expect from Nick, but like, god damn, that was fast.
what's really funny, and this is going to my alcohol taste, which wide and vast. Um, After our last show on Friday, one of my coworkers was there, and they've seen me drink before, but nothing super crazy. And he was like, "Hey, you had a really good set. I want to buy you a beer. What do you want?" I'm like, "Banquet right now. Like, give me a banquet. This bar, this venue, they have banquets on deck there." So I was like, "I'm getting stupid." He brings me a banquet. We're watching Nail Wound, which if you haven't heard of them, they're just dumb heart heavy hardcore. Just you got your dog barks in there. Very fun band, very very good. Um, and he gives it to me, and I'm just like threw it back like before their first song was over, and he's like, what the fuck? Like, you know, I was like, I'm gonna go mosh. Like, go stand up front, like, be out there to like to throw down some shit.
Nah, tell the whole story. You fucking decked my ass getting into there.
Well, I mean, I was gonna
This
be
man
nice
hit
to-
me so hard that I had to wonder. I was like, ooh, am I gonna have the 30-year-old back now?
Oof.
I did come up a little aggressive. I just smashed the banquet. I was feeling kind of snazzy. I was
it's
feeling myself.
Now that I've got the context, I understand.
Yeah, I was going crazy, but no, I do love me a good Coors Banquet. Beer wise, Yingling banquets. I'll drink. I mean, fuck it. If we're gonna be completely honest here, I will drink just damn near about anything. Liquor wise, bourbon's my go-to. Right now in my apartment, I have a bottle of. This is like your like super dude bro, like, oh my god, I love whiskey because I drink Buffalo Trace and Blanton's. I have a bottle of Buffalo Trace and Blanton's right now. Only because if you find it, you have to buy it because some other idiot's gonna buy it because they think they know all about whiskey. Blanton's is great. Buffalo Trace tastes better than what it's priced at. That's all it is to me. But I will drink Redemption's a really good one. The single barrel Redemption's your 105 proof whiskey. I think the highest proof whiskey I've ever had that was definitely one of the best ones was a single barrel Redemption rye, not Redemption, just Redemption whiskey, 112 proof. They hand tested the alcohol proof for that specific bottle. Then they like wrote on it with Sharpie. Like that was some good ass whiskey. But yeah, I heard you're a rum guy, Ron Zacapa. Love me a good Ron Zacapa. I'm drawing a blank on it.
Bumbo.
Captain Morgan.
Oh Christ.
Nah, I'll do it if I'm gonna get.
Dude, Captain Morgan.
Kraken's always good.
Kraken.
Kraken's
I found
good.
one recently called Plantation. I think they changed their name.
Yes.
But that was really good. I can't do
Bumbo.
Bacardi anymore.
I can't do Bacardi either. I can't.
Well, like so we went to Jamaica a couple years ago, as a friend's trip.
Oh no,
And-
I know where this is going.
And like it was an all inclusive, and like basically when you land in, if no one's gone to Jamaica before, not to sound like I have a bunch of money, but like I've only been once, leave me alone. But you land in Jamaica, and then like while you're waiting to get on your shuttle, there's a bar at the airport that is just like, hey, $20, you get like a mixed drink in this like to go container. Well, the resort that we were at, they would fill any container you wanted with whatever mixed drink you wanted. So we went like on an excursion, and I like filled that, and like I had a lot of rum that week in Jamaica, and so now Bacardi just reminds me of a few rough nights that were had that I can no longer drink that anymore.
Dude, that's like me and Jack Daniels. I went to Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic at like one of their like hard rock resorts. Me and my buddy went to Hibachi and got slammed off of Jack and Cokes there. And every time I think about Jack and Cokes, all I want to do is just go play sports bets. And we lost a shitload of money that night.
Jesus.
It was really fucking bad. Like it was so goddamn bad. I think I left him in the casino at the sports betting table at one point, and then I had to go like search this whole ass resort for his ass at one point because I was like, it's 3 a.m. He's not back. What happened to my boy? Eventually, like, it hit a point where like his phone died. He got back to our room, charged his phone enough, called me back because he saw all the missed calls. He was like, hey, dude, where are you? I was like, motherfucker, I'm looking for you. And then eventually, like, I got back to the room. He was like, yeah, so like we won a lot of money. And then I left the casino, and then I tried to drive one of the employee golf carts, and then the employees told me to not do that. So I dove out of it into the bushes, cracked the like nail off of my big toe, and then stumbled back here after like checking several doors that were not ours. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ.
I don't want to keep us again. I'm not trying to like keep derailing, but I do have to put this out there just while we're talking about dumb shit. Only and it relates to the band, I promise. So after our show last Friday, we all went out and Cocktails and Screams downtown Orlando. I've never been. I have been
Censor
drinking.
that. I don't want that fucking bar associated with us.
Yeah, that
That's
bar's
fair.
out.
Fuck
They
that
actually
bar.
did a lot of shit that actually pissed me off there. Mostly they cut off
Yeah.
6 foot, 7 foot when I was gonna go out there and have a good time.
True.
Hit
Mhm.
that of the things I remember that night. That's one of them. That really because during there I bought me, Paul, and Hayden. I bought us a round of fucking what was it, absinthe.
Absinthe, baby.
Yes,
And
sir.
I was like, yeah, that's gonna be a shot. And I was like, also, let me get this mixed drink. That place, I'm like, okay, I'm trying to get to it. I ordered a water, and then they made it bubble, and it pissed me off because I just wanted the water. And sorry, it wasn't even mine; it was my girlfriend's water. I was like, yeah, can I just get a glass of water, and I'm gonna give you a shit ton of money for alcohol. And then he like fucking put like a rock in it that made it bubble, and it was like sparkling water, and it pissed me off. Regardless, uh, after that show though, I there's a
Fucking real life
picture.
HP Lovecraft meets a European.
Yeah,
Loses
no,
his
they just
mind.
it was just the last show we were at. I don't even remember what they put in that drink. Just they knocked my ass unconscious, and I barely remember leaving Cocktails and Scream. So shout out Conduit, fuck Cocktails and Scream. I keep saying the name. We want to censor it. Do your thing with it. Leave it in. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
Fuck
just
that
cut
place.
it out. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
start any beef, but fuck that place. It's
Yeah.
like how are you gonna try and kick everybody out by playing fucking Deftones? Play
Yeah.
Semisonic. Don't be original. Just that shit will get everybody out. I know it. I worked sound at a bar for a long time.
Yeah, I'll go in and do some beeps. No one will know. It'll be fine because
Thank God.
it's funny while the hate's there. I hope to hear like a diss track at some point. For this episode, I started out with some good old Castle Cream ales from here in the good old Twin Cities. Now I've made my way onto the Konas because that's what's in my fridge and it's cold. I haven't put the hams in there yet. But I know we're like I said, we're feeling loose. This is where we kind of let loose a little bit more. We talk about some fun stories from this time of music, whether they're shows, tours, time recording music videos. As I normally say, they can be anything horrendous to tremendous or any adjective in between. I'm going to start off with one just to bounce off of Nick's story of like how you got super hammered. Well, you guys like had a good time at the last show. I remember when I used to tour manage my friend's band, I had a rule with them, and like I went to high school with a couple of these dudes, so like I knew we could put down, and like I said before we started the episode, like we became like the drinking band in our scene, like heavy. So like when we went to a show, I knew like how crazy it could get, so I would always implement like a 2-drink limit before they played, like no more than 2 beers before you guys play, otherwise it's super sloppy. After you guys play, I don't give a fuck as long as we can make it home or make it to where we got to go. We always had a DD, throwing that out there for people.
Yeah.
It was me most days and then me not most days. But besides that, one show we went to, one of the guys got like this super strong Long Island, and he was like, dude, it's only 1 drink. It's fine. Like trying to bend the rule. He couldn't even finish like a quarter of it because it was so fucking strong. He still sucked at bass because he was just terrible, but that it didn't really matter. But it was just the fact that he tried to get it by me and still failed.
Dude, that's like the fucking blue Long Islands at Murphy's, Nick.
I wasn't gonna bring it up, but you brought it up.
Goddamn right, dude.
Holy shit!
We go out drinking in this this little town called Sanford down here. It's like it's what, like 20-30 minutes away from Orlando or something. Yeah, we go out drinking pretty often in this place called Sanford because it's basically a place with like no real laws. And yeah, fucking Murphy's has a blue Long Island, and it's just alcohol. I swear to God, but it doesn't taste like it. And like
That is a nuclear reactor. In a
yeah,
cup.
why don't you get Borton here to talk about her experience with the blue Long Island?
For her own like just everything. I'm not gonna do that. Here's what I will do on 2 fronts. One, yes, that shit is insane. To kind of follow up off of the Sanford bit, it's like imagine like just like kind of I don't know, I want to say high end, but like you have a lot of unique bars down there,
Yeah.
but like not a lot of people being there. Like you got a lot of space, you can kind of get you. There's always a place to sit. There's always a place to stand, and you'll get your drinks in a normal time frame. I took both of them. This is the same night with that particular drink being brought up. There's a speakeasy in one of those bars. It's a rum theme bar. you would be a big fan if you're ever in the Orlando
Oh my
area.
God,
I'll
yeah.
treat you. Suffering Bastard. Shout out, Suffering
fucking
Bastard.
rules.
Yeah.
They make some fucking insane drinks. They have this one that's a hurricane, and you order it as a category 5. They put an extra floater of 151 on top of it.
Ooh,
That shit
my
will
thing died.
rock. That shit will rock your ass, and it is the best way to get your night started. But kind of to your point too, you're mentioning just with the, being the band that with the drinking band. This is before I was officially a part of No Business. I was just the shit poster that would show up to shows. Um, so shout out to Spot. Spot is kind of a lawless land. Back in the heyday, they've kind of gotten their stuff together, but back in the OG
Oh, I know
days,
where this is
when
going.
it was
Old
one-
room
it was-
versus new room.
Yep,
The old room was
Spot.
a lawless land.
New room's still kind of lawless. It's just
Yeah.
you just gotta be cool with Sal, and you'll be fine. But no, so we're there, and
No.
No Business was playing last, and so I was there just not playing the show, and I was like, hey, I wanted to drink, and they didn't have a bar set up at the time, so I was like, hey, can I go to the Circle K across the street here and go grab drinks? And Paul was just like, yeah, you can do whatever the fuck you want here. So I said, okay, cool. Who wants a Four Loco? Joking. And Hayden goes, I want one. I was like, if I get a Four Loco, will you drink it with me? He's like, yeah. So I go, and there's a picture. I still have the picture of Hayden and I in flannels,
Matching
arms.
Buffalo
No,
flag.
Nick and I were matching the flannels that night.
Yeah, Hayden, you had a different color one on, but we had our Hayden and I had our arms interlocked, drinking a Four Loco together. Hayden killed a Four Loco, got up, played a great set, walked, and had a time of his fucking life. But we did rock a Four Loco before a No Business show.
I want to
Yeah.
add a little bit of context because this is the part of the story that Nick's not going to tell because why would he? But it very much happened. At the time, I was, and I'm not going to say what her job was, but I am going to say I was dating a literal Disney executive that I pulled
Forgot
out.
about
She is a 5'10", just like beautiful brunette Italian woman who like dresses like a executive person would at the goddamn spot. She walks in to her brand new boyfriend slamming a fucking Four Loco right before his like PBR core rock band goes on stage. And like I don't know why she chose me, but like she still was like, oh no, that was charming. And I'm like, great.
It's the kind of vibe I bring to the function.
Yeah.
And I thought
I
Paul was
learned-
gonna kill me.
I learned after it was either the first or second show that No Business played. I learned I didn't have to really worry about us drinking before show because everybody kind of knew limit yourself a little bit before the show. After we
Yeah.
play, like all bets are off. Who cares? Was it the first or the second one at Will's where we were hitting the fucking Steve Austin beer?
It was the first one. It was the first one because
yeah.
I didn't drink a lick because I have a rule. And this comes from I have been playing in cover bands since I was 16 years old, in New Orleans, Louisiana. So take that as you will. I have a rule after the first time when I was underage and I thought it was cool to drink. I got fucking slamming drunk and I did not play well and I got kicked out of that fucking band. I learned I was like, I do not drink before I play. The Four Loco before the set was a little different because like we were playing last. It was still like an
Yeah,
hour
that
and a
was
half to an
also
hour. Yeah.
that was also our like favorite promoter's birthday show, and there was a lot of
Yeah.
shit that went wrong. So it was kind of one of those things where like he was honestly just happy we showed up and we were there to
Mhm.
like clown and play. Like so. And he
Yeah,
was like,
but I
do
have-
whatever you want, have fun. Like it's a celebration. Who cares?
But I have a rule. If I'm gonna drink before a set, which I usually don't, one beer. That's it. One drink, one and done.
Yeah.
I drink after the set, but I have been playing music a long time. And I learned very early. I'm like, oh, I can't play drunk. I'm not that guy. And so like I don't. But yeah, we were ripping the Steve Austin, and I found out the hard way that was cost $8.
Yeah. So unfortunate. But yeah, we
They were really good,
it was
though.
like it was you and Alex ripped like 3 or 4 of those a piece.
5.
Yeah, y'all were
I
going
paid $40.
crazy off the Steve Austin, and it just looks like a PBR, but it's like a little bit stronger.
It tastes like the champagne of PBRs.
Yeah, that's true. The recent one was very funny with like drinking because it was so we played a show recently with Mode, who was before us, and then after us was Nail Wound, Chidori, Lost Trees. Chidori's vocalist could not make it to the show. So they hit us up like 8 days before. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'll do a little vocal spot. I'll do one of the songs. That'll be fun. Like, all good. And then I also agreed to do a guest spot for Lost Trees. So I'm also on the kind of like, I do not drink before I perform kind of thing. Like, especially as a vocalist, it's like, not the greatest thing to do. I came off that fucking stage with Chidori and I was like, I don't think I could stop myself anymore. And I slammed like a shot of whiskey in a fucking chorus banquet. And then like 6 songs into that,
the conduit, baby. I see you.
the Boilermakers, 6 songs into the Lost Tree set. I'm just like, oh fuck, that's the song I'm doing, isn't it? And had to fucking run up there real quick and do it. And like even their vocalist Johnny was just like, finally, you're done doing vocals tonight, bro. And I was like, yes, I can go.
Mm-hmm.
We can have as many chorus banquets as we want now.
We had such a slamming night that like I jokingly say I broke edge because like I'm not really drinking right now. But really what it was like
he'll be pissed.
Yeah, I know. But really what it was I just I don't necessarily like alcohol has a lot of calories.
Yeah.
I don't like who I am when I drink a lot. But it was one of those nights where like the mood was high enough. I was with people I genuinely adore. And one of our friends showed up looking like fine as shit. And I was just like, oh no, I'm drinking.
You said that, and all I could think about was that fucking Ni Hao fine shit. Hop on
Ni Hao fine shit. I think I said that at her at one point. Because she's part Chinese. So I think at one point I did say Ni Hao fine shit.
Oh, Hayden, please pull his mic, pull the cord. Last point to this.
Mute this guy.
Move to the next question. I will say this is very important to the end of that night. I live on the second floor of my apartment building, and there's a set of stairs outside leading up to that. And my girlfriend, God bless her, Dee Dee drove me home. Do not remember leaving the bar. Don't remember coming home.
Oh man.
I was in a rough spot, and she had to help me out of the car up to the stairs, and I grabbed a railing. I turned around and looked at her dead in the eyes, and I go, I'm so fast, and I sprinted up the stairs to my door, and then just like stood there waiting for her to come up, and that was how I ended my night.
Oh god, somebody's got to stop us.
Like, I am such a bastard when I get that drunk. Like, I'll be like, oh, I love my bros, I love all that, and I'll pull some shit like that. Like, I can't fucking stand straight, but then I will like lock the fuck in, get it done, but not for anything important, just a shit post, and then move on with my life.
The best part was that we took Hayden to the bar that night, and then he came back with our friend, but his car was still at my fucking apartment. So like Kiara and I are just laying there, and all of a sudden we hear like a bunch of car doors slamming, and we're like, all right, cool, Hayden made it back from the bar. Awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we sat in her car and we talked for a while.
That makes sense. But yeah, Kiara and I heard a bunch of
car for a while.
We just heard a bunch of car doors like closing, and we were like, okay, cool, he's alive. Sounds good. And then we both just like knocked out and went to sleep.
Yeah, and I realized the next day I texted Brittany and not you guys. I texted Brittany to let her know I was home because I figured y'all were asleep because y'all are old.
No, we had to go back. We had to fill Brittany's fucking car with water and not coolant. Fucking dumbass.
We have a friend who she is one of my favorite people who has ever walked the planet. She is like the epitome of a 26-year-old, like just a 26-year-old teenager. That's like...
Yeah. Brittany rules. She runs merch for us, along with my fiance and Nick's girlfriend Bort. They all run merch together, just like taking turns, which is lovely because it means that I don't have to sit at the table at all, and I can go mosh for the other bands. But
yeah,
those are my emotional support baddies.
Yeah.
Well, obviously we heard some drunk band stories in shows times, but like unlike the other. I mean, those could still be amazing stories, depending on who you ask. But like, what are some like fun and crazy shows that you guys have played, like that you maybe didn't think you would get to be a part of?
I think a lot of those correspond with a different band that I was in, like pre-pandemic. Because I was playing bass for this band we were called Dead Weather at the time, and we like came back for one show under the name Stillheart, and then didn't do anything after that. So it's kind of like it's like a weird in between kind of thing. But we did get to in very early 2020, we got to open up. Spite was on tour with their like newest album, Root of All Evil, and I think they had like Varial's Orthodox Dealer. I think I cannot remember. There's a couple cancelable bands on that tour, but it was very big for me at the time because Varials was just coming off of In Darkness, which was like easily my favorite album of that year. I still am very sad that like Travis left and all that. But like that was like the biggest kind of wow moment. That was another one where like people weren't really moshing for us, but we kind of had a point where we were like, yeah, we're the opening band. We're also playing like we were like a very like counterpart sounding band. So it's like all these people are here to see like Burials and Spite. Like they're not gonna be moshing to us like, screaming about like I want to die and shit like that. They want to hear some fucking crazy shit. But that was a really cool one. And then this most recent show was amazing. It was a very like very real homie fest. Like it was like I've known like my old band played with Nail Wound a ton before the pandemic. And then like Mode I had never played with before, but I knew a couple of the members from other bands around town, so I was like tight with them. And then like Lost Trees is the first band that I like knew in Florida when I moved here in 2019. Johnny, their vocalist, actually played in the band that I moved here to be a part of, and then like that band changed like 3 times before we actually really put anything out. But yeah, it was an overall just like everybody there kind of knew everybody in the bands, and it was just everybody was friends. It was a fucking magical show where everybody's like jumping on stage to help each other out, and like all the bands are moshing for each other and stuff. It was a very, very cool show this past week.
Yeah, I can definitely echo on that. For me, I've only played 3 live shows with the boys. Can definitely say that was the best show of the 3 I played. In just kind of again, I don't want to like be too repetitive on what Paul said, but it was just super cool to see just like how involved all of the other bands were with the other sets, especially during Chidori.
Yeah.
I listened to a little bit of their music before going into it. It's not my normal flavor of music, but I was like, yeah, they're good, and I enjoyed it. But one, like seeing Paul get up there with them was super dope, but also they had a sick fucking Enter Shikari cover of "Sorry You're Not the Winner." Sorry,
Dude,
not a winner.
lost my
My
shit.
apologies. That was fucking awesome. But that was just such a cool show. Like it was definitely more of a vibe show. People weren't like, during Nail Wound, a couple people moshing. All the other bands, everyone was just like packed up front, like just having a really fucking good time. It was just super cool to see. Um, I will say, just on a little bit of a kind of answering, not answering your question, is to this day the best like going to a show that was not everyone's flavor. Um, Myself and my 2 best friends came down for the show in Orlando, and Paul joined me for the show as well.
Yeah.
Paul, my flavor is I like deathcore, I like slam, and Peeling Flesh, Snuffed on Sight, Corpse Pile, and Two Piece for
Two
on
Piece,
tour. Shout out Two
baby.
Piece. And it was just a fucking slugfest of a show.
Yeah.
My best friend, one of my best friends, Ben. He's a big motherfucker. He's like 6'5", like he just built like a fucking brick. He left that show with a bump like rising off his head to here because he got fucking decked in the head. I blew out my knee. I wasn't walking straight after that. But the fact that like Paul was there for all of it, who does not like he fucks with it, but he is not that is not his go-to type of music. I was like, yo, this is fucking sick. Like my boys here, like in the cut, like getting stupid with everyone. And
Yeah.
I don't remember. He said something to me afterwards, like that was a fun show, but like I will never do that shit again or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not like huge on like deathcore and slam. I love Two Piece because like my old band played our first show ever with Two Piece, and I was like,
I'm a Two
holy
Piece.
fuck, how are 2 dudes making all this music? But yeah, the whole like going to an entire like slam deathcore kind of show was That was a sight to behold. I think our drummer was at it, and he
Yep.
tweeted before that show. He was like, "Holy shit, boys! Conduit's gonna look like Soundbar in 2019 or something like that." And I was like, "Oh no, we're gonna get real violent tonight, aren't we?" Because Soundbar RIP was a lovely venue that we played a bunch of times 2019. It was like that was like the venue, I feel like, in Orlando. Like a lot of like the smaller touring bands played there, a lot of like local shows happened there, and it was like no matter what, you had moshers at Soundbar. And like we kind of have that, kind of don't anymore. It's like in a weird in between space where like you've got venues like the Spot that are kind of doing like the underground shows, and then you got the Conduit, which is doing like kind of bigger shows, but there's not a whole lot of like crossover like the like Soundbar was kind of taken in. It's a little bit weird, but my roommate and I talk about it all the time how like it's a very different landscape post COVID in Orlando. It's not necessarily like better or worse, but it's definitely different. I've also got to piss like a racehorse, so I'm gonna fucking.
I will
Okay.
just kind of adding around to that as well, just because he's not here. Josh, like everyone knows Josh in the scene. It's actually obnoxious shit. She'll just be sitting here talking like, "Oh, I play in this band," you know, like I'll be at a show or whatever by myself. I'm like, "Oh, I'm in a band," like or no business. Like, "Oh, Josh, the heavy hitter drummer." I'm like, "God fucking damn it!" Like, of course you fucking know him. Like, or I'll just be at a show and I'll just see Josh, and like Josh stands out like he's small black guy with long dreads and shit. Like you see him in a fucking crowd, like there he is. But at that same show, fucking Peeling Flesh was doing their song "Face Fucked with a Shovel" as their closing song, and you can see me and my buddies like we kind of see our heads popping in and out in this video, and I shit you not, as soon as the breakdown hits, you see Josh come off the like left side of the stage, nose diving out into the crowd, like flipping over and stage diving. Like Josh throws down so
Yeah.
hard that every show I aspire to be as like dedicated to crowd killing and moshing as Josh. And like Josh will do that before we play a set and right after we play a set. Like he
Mhm.
does not give a shit.
Yeah, Josh will get turned. Josh is like the king of getting turned at core shows just because he loves it. We all love it in a big way. It is something that we all very much have like formed our lives around, but like Josh loves it in a way that like it is his life. You know, like
Mm.
that's what he does. Like that is everything he lives and breathes is like the core scene. And I really, really respect that because it makes him such a lovable, dedicated person in the scene. He plays in no business because he likes the music, but I do think he plays in it more just because he fucking loves this shit and he wants everyone to love this shit as much as he does. And like that's what I really, really love about that man is that he brings an energy to it that makes it genuine. I genuinely love playing shows with Josh because like he just brings that energy, man. Like it's there's a genuine love there in a way that like cannot be overstated. He's so
Yeah,
dedicated to it.
I gotta agree.
Uh
That's exactly why I wanted Josh to play for us, because like
yeah.
I just watched the way Josh was about music, and like Josh just that man just loves core music, like hardcore,
Mhm.
metalcore, deathcore. It doesn't fucking matter. That man just loves music. He loves heavy music, and like anything that he loves, he's gonna fucking ride for. And like I was like, if I can get Josh to like no business, that means we've like really done something good. And like,
Mhm.
sure enough, even especially with this new EP, he like it was very funny because like both him and my roommate that we previously stated is a hater of everything.
I
Both of
hate it.
them said that Strings was the best song on the EP. And I was like, okay, Josh is saying the lightest song is the best song. And my hater ass roommate is saying the lightest song is the best song. We should probably make this one a single. And that's why Strings
Mhm.
ended up like being a single off of the EP, funny enough.
Uh what's funniest about Josh though is that like at the show after we played, he and I were just like vibing to the bands, and there were 5 or 10 minutes where all we did was just look at each other and go metalcore, and like that's all we did, just metalcore. Like he posted it on
Hell
Facebook, and I
yeah.
was like metalcore. We were just having the best time.
God.
Which that is my answer to the question, by the way. I'm gonna echo them and say that like I have been playing in bands for a long time. I was in bands in Louisiana. I would like fill in with bands. I had friends in like established bands, and if you needed a bassist, like I'm a really solid, good bassist. Like I can learn quick. I have a stage presence. Like you give me something to plug into and I'll show up and I'll play. Um and I have opened for Taking Back Sunday. I have opened for like I have done all kinds of crazy shit. Uh I opened for Sleeping with Sirens a couple times. Like I've done, like a bunch of shit that like looking back, I'm like, oh, those are like legendary bands that I was just opening for on like a Tuesday in New Orleans, because like we knew people, or because like a band that I knew was like, hey, do you want to come play the show with us? Because we're not gonna miss it, and our bassist can't make it. And I'm like, yeah, why not? I'll come. And I've been in all these situations. But my funniest, most off the wall music story. We used to have a jam night in the French Quarter, that I would show up at every now and then. And one night I showed up, and I was high. I'm gonna be straight up. I smoked a joint and I left my house, and I like just like wandered out of the French Quarter. And one of my friends was like, "Did I just see you walking down Frenchman?" I was like, "Yeah." And then she was like, "Cool, come to the Cat." I was like, "Okay." So I walk into this bar. No, it wasn't the Cat. It was the Blue. It was Blue Nile. I'm sorry. She's like, "Coming to Blue Nile." I was like, "All right." We ended up at the Cat later in the night, but I walk into Blue Nile and I put my name down to play in the band. And I didn't realize that behind, and this is an insane story. I don't even think I've told you too, because I don't think it would have like overlapped with your interest, but now I realize it might have. I didn't even realize until I get on stage. I walk on stage and I grab like the house bass and I turn around and Questlove is on the kit, and he like sized
Holy
me up.
shit.
He like sized me up and he's like, "You talk music?" And I was like, "I'll try." And he goes, "All right, it's a 1-3-4 in G." It was like 4-4. He goes, "Yeah." I was like, "Sick." And I just jammed with him for like 30 minutes. I was just up there for 30 minutes, and like it was really cool because if you've ever played jazz, that's what it was. Like you established a phrase and we just played like this one, this one, this one, and then he would just call it out, and like you would just play along in key, and it was fucking wonderful. And like I'll never forget that, because at the end of it, like when my time slot was up, or when somebody else wanted to get up, like I handed the bass over and he like gave me a fist bump. He's like, "You good as fuck." And like I rode that high for a while because I was like, "Oh, Questlove was just impressed by me. That's cool. Like he plays in the fucking Roots, like whatever." And it come to find out, he was there every like month or so. And my friends were like, "Yeah, if you just know when to go in, he's always there." And I'm like, how did I not
Questlove's
know?
in
I
the
had lived in the
house.
city for like 5 years at this point. I'm like, how did I
That
not know that
rules.
Questlove was just there? But that was a fun night. But I think it's because we're still riding the wave of it. This last show we played was just so special because the more people came through the door that I knew, and the more the house packed out with people who like, it was like a culmination of everything we've done in this band so far. I'm like, this is the night. Like, this is it. Like, this is the night we've been waiting for. And it was wonderful. It just, there was a vibe there, and it was electric in that room, dude. It was so good. And it was a total homie fest. And all of our homies loved it. And we loved it. It was just something magical about that night, man. It was great.
Yeah.
The
Best show
fact
I've
you
ever
got
played.
both my parents to show up at that show, and
Yeah,
Mhm.
like
that was crazy.
my coworkers, who like my boomer ass coworker, like boomer ass coworker and her husband were there. One of my coworkers, who she's like in her 40s, was there, and like just people who just don't fuck with that kind of music, like all showed up. More my parents than anything else, who are just like very much not about that life, were there. And I was like, I see you, Scott and Maria. Like, we're gonna get stupid tonight. Like, let's fucking get it. But
Yeah,
nah, that was a great show.
it was a great time. Like I even had a couple people from like my work, like the intern that I trained came, and she also brought like a couple of her technicians that were like working for her at that time. And it was like, yeah, it was very, very cool to have that many
Yeah.
people like in the venue paying attention, bobbing along. Like it was very nice. Yeah. I just wish people would have slapped each other a little more.
And you see, like, I don't mind that there was no pit, because like I said, I looked up. I have never had anybody watch me play that hard. Um, but people were like singing along. People who like I'd never met were singing along, and I was like, oh, oh, we're a band. Like, like,
Yeah,
and it's
so I didn't notice that, as well as apparently Jesse was like flashing something on his phone before the
yeah, he
set.
flashed yay autism.
Yeah. Jesse flashed yay autism on his phone, and I didn't see it at all before the set. And he like asked me, we hung out like a day or two after the show. I think we were just playing some Halo or something. And he was like, "So were you pissed when I flashed yay autism on my phone for the set?" And I was like, "I didn't even see it. I would have fucking been cracking up if I saw it." And he was like, "Okay, cool. I thought I like flashed something and you were like pissed because you were stressed or something." And I was like, "No, dude, that would have been so goddamn funny." I was just like,
That's
locked in. I didn't even see it. He was like, yeah, Hayden was laughing at it, but you were just stone faced upon seeing
That's why.
it.
That's why I fucking died laughing right when the sample kicked in because I noticed Jesse's phone and I was just like, God damn it! Like that's
Was
why I
it the
like
Beastie
died
Boys
laughing.
sample?
I laughed at the Beastie Boys sample as well, but like that's why I was dying laughing right before it started was because of Jesse. I was just like, man,
Yeah.
I gotta step in on that too with Paul. Paul is a rat when it comes to live sample sets. So to this day, there hasn't been a show that we played where Paul didn't like get me mid set. Like, 'cause we'll practice and he'll
yeah,
have the samples that we will have at the live set there. I'll forget. And so the like first two shows I played, it was all like rap samples. Like it was like all of, like the producer tags
Yeah,
and
I
shit
just
like
threw
that at the
producer
beginning.
tags before every song we played.
But and like just from the bullshit I'm not gonna get too into it. Like Paul put this one and it still fucking kills me. It's if you've ever seen the show, the movie The Barnyard, where it's like there's a cow farm, there's cows outside. He put one of someone going, I'm on a Fed watch list. There's gonna be feds outside, and like that shit sends me. And I knew it was coming, and I was like, I fucking hate this man. The second show or the second or third show I ever saw him play, he had Halo 2 like bits in mixed into
yeah.
the set at the conduit where we played our last show. And I was like, this motherfucker is gonna like I'm crashing out again. Like you got me again. And I'm not even like here for it. I'm a part of the band now. But he does this kind of shit where I'm just like I want to laugh, but like especially when I'm playing, I'm like trying to be in the zone, and I need it because I'm so like high strung. I need the comic relief. Like it is actually like cathartic to me. But I'm just like, I want to fucking throw something at him when he does that. But I love it. It's so fucking
Say,
good.
brother, we are not that serious of a band. It's
Yeah,
okay.
I just
that's
lock
why I do
in,
my little
brother.
dance.
We opened the set with the Beastie Boys' new style. Like, come on, man.
That's
That's
why I do
fair.
my little dancey
We
dance,
had
Nick. I do
we
my little
had
dancey dance because I'm like,
we had Keenan Thompson impersonating David Ortiz going, "Do you suffer from depression?" No.
That's right. You did have that shit.
I don't think anybody can hear that one because it was really quiet and I could not find a way to make it louder, but that is in that live set
Still
somewhere.
amazing.
my favorite was the last time we played the Conduit. It was a big deal of a show for us. And Paul opens the set by walking up and going, "Shout out to Halo 2." That was like,
Yeah,
And
you had
the opening of the set was the respawn sound from Halo 2.
Didn't you at the end of that set too have Breaking Benjamin's "Blow Me Away" like
Yes.
the beginning of "Blow Me Away" in there? Yeah, fuck off. I don't want to hear
we
from you.
we played Chains and it was like the like oh from the beginning of Blow Me Away and then it just goes right into Chains. That's the thing about a song that starts so abruptly like Chains, you can put anything in front of that. That was the one I put the Fed watch list thing in front of.
That's fair.
What did
that song sounds like we're on a Fed watch list.
I'm trying to remember what producer tag I put in front of Chains. It had to be
Mustard.
something funny.
Oh no, Mustard was in front of Dogma.
Mustard's in front of Dogma.
Perfect.
Was it
Fucking-
Angie made this one?
Yeah, did you make
No,
this
I'm
one?
trying to. What did I put the fucking? What did I put the Pierre Bourne tag in front of? The fucking yo Pierre, you want to come out here?
I thought it was either Chains or Tattletale for that.
It might
That
have
was
been
Tattletale.
Chains then.
No, I think it was
No, because
Tattletale.
Tattletale we still had Caramel Dancing in front of.
You're right. No, we do Caramel Dancing in front of Tattletale, and it's like the perfect lead into it because it's so funny.
Also, Michael, welcome to making a live set with no business. This is the internal conversations that are had as we go through each song.
It's just
No,
us
this is
shouting at each
great.
other about
Yeah.
producer.
Welcome to
tags.
hell.
This is band practice. I have friends who are like, I want to like be at band practice and watch y'all hash it out. I'm like, no, you don't. It's just me and Paul getting more and more autistic and Nick crashing out. That's all it is.
Like, can we just play the set one more time, please, guys? I'm begging you.
And
Nick's
then
like,
Josh,
guys. Nick's like, guys, I'm new here. I need to actually practice the set, and the rest of us that have played these songs 50 times are like, shut up.
Like,
Josh
I
is just, like,
practice.
wearing his I
Also,
Like
I
Older
got
Women
like
shirt.
a 40-minute drive home. Like, can we please get this the fuck on?
Nope.
I know we derailed there again, but I think you guys all answered the question of your favorite show moments, and you guys seem to be pretty concise with, especially last week and like what it meant to you guys. So I'm not going to ask the infamous question that I normally ask of like what's been your favorite moment so far, because I feel like a lot of it will be that show at the same time. So, you know, as we start to wind down, I think my final question to the three of you is like, you know, we're at the time of this recording, you know, mid to late March, still pretty early in 2025. But what can the people expect from No Business for the rest of the year?
I'm gonna keep getting more buff.
Yeah. Get more ripped. Hit the gym
More,
more.
ripped. Yeah.
Drink more beers.
Live, laugh, love more. You know.
Oh God. I mean, obviously you can expect like some more shit posts whenever Nick and I think of them. I've got a couple like saved in my phone that I haven't posted quite yet. I'll send Nick. I'll find some meme that I find, and I'll just send it to Nick, and I'll be like, "Get on it."
And I'll just, without fail, be like, "Yes, honey," and send
That
it
Just
Joe's
reply
within
with
the
like,
hour.
"Yes, dear."
The band chat is one thing. We have like our own side like boys chat because like I don't know if you can tell we're like besties outside of the band. That chat is so unhinged all the time. Like it
Yeah,
is.
you've unfortunately, and I stole this name from Carson and Dawson, who run the This Ain't a Scene, It's a podcast. I stole the name of Autism Particle Accelerator, and unfortunately, Michael, you've been put inside of it tonight by putting the three of us in a room together, whether virtual or not.
Yeah, on top of that as well, I know Hayden mentioned it before, but I was like, yo, boys, let's start a slam side project. We're calling it the Hindenburgs. And I still want to do something with it, but like that's the kind of dumbass shit we get into.
Did you boys see the TikTok I sent y'all?
You know I
Yeah,
did.
man, I
that?
have 45 unread TikToks
I know
on
you
top of the
didn't.
like on top of the 50 that CC has sent me that I haven't been able to watch. I'm building LED walls for days.
All right,
man.
hold on.
Listen,
Looking forward to No Business, but stay focused, boys. Focus.
All I'm saying is, listen, we make a country fried slam band as the side project.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. All right.
That's what we're doing.
Now hold the fuck up.
Where have you been?
It's
What
gonna
are
be
we,
a
Bill
whole
Murray?
lot of. There'll be a banjo at some point, maybe. I don't know.
What are we, Bill Murray?
No, it's fucking No One Left Alive, I think is what it is. The
So you
banjo
saying I can't
slam.
crank my hog?
It's Every Time I Die too.
Yo, every time I die again. Every other time I die.
Every time
No
I
one gets
live.
out alive. That's who it is. That's banjo slam. Actually, unironically, a genre.
What you can look forward to at No Business is that we will all learn to play our instruments. And
Sure.
Get a little of this fucking guy.
I was gonna say, on a realer note, we do have some demos that are kicking around right now. My sole goal for this year is to have at least one more song out by the end of the year. Hopefully, out of those demos, I got like 2 or 3 that I'm like, we could kick these over now and it would be ready. But you know, I don't want to screw myself over and have to redo shit later if we like put on the album or whatever and all that. But we're kind of
canceled, you know.
Yeah. You never know what happens. Alex will have too many beers and he'll say like the high elves don't deserve rights or something like that, and then you know
Skyrim is for the Nords.
Yeah, exactly.
I can also just kind of echo in Paul with the demos being worked on. I know pretty much everyone has their own kind of their own thing going on outside of No Business as well. Josh obviously has a heavy hitter. They got a lot moving there. I know Alex himself, he does a lot of work for other bands and just unapologetics the plug for Alex as he isn't here. If you ever need any kind of work done with your music, Alex Britt on Facebook and social media, Facebook and Instagram. He's great. Anything, if you need examples, go listen to Self Promo, go listen to Snitch Lead Scenes and Snitch. If you ever heard the song Wall of Wax by Heavy Hitter, he did that. Like he's a fucking animal. He does great work. Kind of something cool for just even for me, like with getting more involved with the boys. I only did vocals for Snitch, but like as time has gone on, I spent a lot of time with Paul and Hayden talking with just different, working on like, what it takes to write music, get into it. So everyone in the band, whether, it's no business or something like that, there's always something going on musically. We all work on dumb little things with each other. All that to be said is, I think we got a lot going on here. Everyone's personal socials usually has some music involved with it. Or if you're looking to find music in this local scene here or just good music in general, all of us have a very wide variety of tastes, but good tastes within their own rights. And yeah, you're always going to find something fun with us. The best way to say it.
We do. This is our shit. Like this all works because we love it, and and we have different ideas and different backgrounds, different upbringings in it, but we all came to this point, and I think that really shines through. I think we do a good job of that.
Yeah. I think it's like, obviously, while like we are not very serious people, as you might have been able to tell, like however long into this. I think the music tends to be a little more serious, but I think that like contrast is very nice when it's like, oh, you've got this music that's about these like very serious topics, like, not feeling like you're worth anything, or like, religious trauma and all that. And then you look at the band and it's a bunch of fucking goofballs, having a bunch of beers on a Friday night, talking about God knows what.
Our merch girls are our scary dog privilege. That's what
that is true. The most serious people in this band are the merch girls.
I got yelled at when I made those hats, by the way, by Kiara and Brittany, because they're like, hey, I love that you made those. Maybe you can convince Paul to make more merch. And I was like, dog, I'm just here so I don't get fined. Like, I'm just trying to make something nice for the boys. Like, this is a celebration of us doing something good.
If they want to payroll me a fucking $1,000 to make more merch, I'll make more merch. All right,
dog,
that's what I'll leave it at.
I spent a close to $180 on 8 hats. Like, I was like, fuck this. Like, this shit sucks.
Brittany doesn't have money to pay.
Not bad on 8 hats.
I know, that's the problem.
Like,
Brittany doesn't have money to payroll you. She has to fix her car, probably.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She got to fix Cheryl pouring fucking gallons of water into her car instead of coolant so she can make it home. I don't know why we're busting on Brittany's car, but
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll rope us back in, since you are talking about hats and merch. If anyone's looking for merch, music, or no business in general, where can they find it?
All right, so no business. We're on all like the major streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music. We do have a Bandcamp, and Bandcamp does have a link to buy. Like, we've got one shirt. It's it was the Tattletale single art kind of transformed into like a general band shirt, which I think is pretty cool. But they're printed on like decently nice shirts. It's I think it's Bella canvas if you're like a fucking blank nerd like that. They're nice shirts. They run a little slim, but they're good. I like them a lot. I wear it to like the gym and all that, and just wherever I can. But yeah, on social media, we are always like at No Business FM. I synced that all up like 2 years ago or something because my girlfriend at the time, but fiance now, was yelling at me. She was like, why is none of it the same? Because it was like some of it was like .fm, and then some of it was like just all one word FM. And she was like, please sync all that shit up so I don't have to write 4 different usernames on this little like merch bin like sign that she has. So I believe we are just No Business FM on everything. No periods, no spaces.
Can't confirm that.
Yeah. The FM stands for Florida Metalcore.
No, it's FM radio. Fuck you. If anything, it would stand for like Florida, Maryland, because that's where we've been. But like, Florida, no, it's just FM radio.
South of the Mason-Dixon line. Yeah.
Real rock music. You know what I'm saying?
Real rocker shit.
So depending on where you found, this episode, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, or you watched the YouTube version and got to see their lovely faces like I did tonight, make sure you check the hyperlink down below. Go follow them on all their socials. Be ready for new music, new videos, new shows, that possible, director's cut vinyl maybe someday in the future.
God, I
be
hope.
ready for that. It'd be very sick. I love that whole concept.
Yeah, I have a cover in mind for it, but we'll see what happens.
I
Well,
will help financially wherever it's needed.
I gotta also figure out whether I can sell 100 records or not. So that's like the problem with it. I don't want to be sitting on like 50 vinyl records that are just chilling in my house, you know.
Yeah, that's very fair. But everyone, please go follow No Business. Go listen to Stitches, the deleted scenes. Like I said, it's phenomenal. I'm so happy we got to do one of these episodes. You guys are. I said Stitches instead of Snitches, didn't I?
Okay, I'm glad you realized it because
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if I want to interject now or like when he's done to have. I didn't want you to have to like re-say everything.
No, you're fine. Like I've had a few. I've also been smoking a little bit too. So like I
hell yeah. Fucking go, baby.
Faded with
realized
bands,
afterwards, because like I saw Hayden and Nick's face of just like that wasn't right, and I was like, I just fucked that up. So everyone, please go listen to Snitch, deleted scenes, and be ready for everything coming next. And like I said, go follow No Business, and I'll catch everyone on the next episode. See ya.
Right.
Woo! We did it.